I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to start saying the sound effects
Click.
as they happen.
Click.
It's a wink.
Slam. Wink, wink. Click. Slam. Wink, wink.
Broke. That was my heart.
Oh, broke. That was my bank account. Hello, best friend Brens, and welcome back to the Season 3 finale of Rewatching Home Movies, a weekly watch-along podcast where three friends and one guest break down the 1999 animated series Home Movies. My name's Tim, and I'm obsessed with home movies.
My name's Adele, and I'm a home movies newbie.
My name's Marcin, and I've never seen home movies.
My name is Nate, and I used to confuse home movies with Futurama.
Home Movies Season 3, Episode 13, titled Coffins and Cradles. Original air date May 25th, 2003 on Adult Swim, written by Brendan Small, Bill Broaddus, and cast, directed by Lauren Bouchard, and produced by Carl Adams. Synopsis for this episode: the kids prepare for Halloween, Linda gets ready for a new baby, and Coach McGurk looks to reignite an old flame. Coffins and Cradles.
Coffins and Cradles. So I didn't know what the episode title was going to be.
Right.
At one point, you did open the episode, and I wasn't aware that you were doing that. I was like, no! And I looked away, and I saw Coffins, but I didn't see the Cradles part. But Coffins and Cradles. I like the title.
Very
the
good
title.
title.
Of this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Usually this is where we hop into Creative Corner. I do want to point something out, though, very quickly. If you heard me right, which you did, original air date for this episode was May 25th, 2003. The previous episode we did, Stowaway, original air date was November 24th, 2002.
I have questions.
So there was a 6-month gap in between episode 12 and 13, and I also had questions. So I reached out to animators of the show, and I said, hey, do you know why this episode aired 6 months after? And they said no. They said production-wise, that episode was done just in the same amount of time at the same frame. They say in commentary this episode aired around Christmas. So November 24th being the last one, they said they finished the episode around Christmas. I'm sorry. So they produced the episode and everything. It was ready by late November, early December. But for whatever reason, Cartoon Network held on to it and didn't air it until May 25th, which is also weird because it is a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did raise my hand because I was wondering, was it a writer's strike? Because I know there's a writer's strike around this time.
I don't think that was it.
Yeah. 6 months seems so wild just to hold on to it, especially the
Right.
finale episode
Yeah.
for May.
Yeah.
Without
Yep.
any extra hype, too, yeah.
So maybe they just were like, we got a better time. We know of a better time to release. No idea. But the animators I reached out to were like, huh, that's weird. And I'm like, so we agree. That is weird. So just wanted to jump into that before we get started with this episode. To get started with this episode, we are, of course, going to do the Creative Corner. Everyone knows the Creative Corner, of course, is something in the realm of creativity. We're either producing, consuming, anything that we want to bring to light. And because we have a very special guest for this episode, we also have a very special guest to bring us in for this Creative Corner. So please bring us in, Joe Swanson.
Hey, Peter. Welcome to the Creative Corner. Doodly doo.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
So good. Thanks for being here, Joe.
I was wondering.
Pleasure, Bonnie.
Sorry, I was wondering who it was going to be. It was going to be either Peter, it was going to be Lois, it's going to be one of
Hey,
those.
Stewie. Oh, God.
Well, thanks for that, Joe. Now, please wait by the stairs until we're done with the podcast.
And I'm going to push him down.
Foreshadowing. So, for Creative Corner, for this Creative Corner, we have a guest, so we're going to keep them abbreviated. I'm going to go first because mine's going to be the most abbreviated because I'm going to say my Creative Corner this week, I will get to later on in this episode when it is way more relevant. So that's my creative corner. Who wants to go next?
Never been done before.
Oh my God.
I'll go next.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, my creative corner is a show that has been around. It's on its 4th season. It's called The Righteous Gemstones, and it is about like Tim, help me out here.
Evangelical?
Well, yeah, they're like a megachurch.
Megachurch, yeah.
And it's a very rich, wealthy family who runs this evangelical megachurch, and it is so funny. I don't think I've ever laughed so loud at a show before in my life. Just you guys already know this song. I have religious trauma, so it scratches the itches, and that's all I'm ever going to talk about. So go watch the show. It's funny. And I'm done.
Well, we should say it's Danny McBride.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I don't know any of their real names.
No,
so
you're good.
Go off, King. I don't know.
Danny McBride is the main guy. Danny McBride, who did Eastbound and Down, who did Vice Principals. This was like his follow-up to those. You've got Walton Goggins. You've got, I forgot the dude. He was in Workaholics, and then he was in the music movie. Adam Devine.
Yeah.
That's what I was
The
thinking.
music movie.
The music movie. Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Is it about music? Is it a movie? Am I wrong?
No.
So, yeah, Adam Devine, it's Tim Baltz is in it, which
Yeah.
we love him. He's so
we
funny.
love Tim Baltz.
So, very good show. Yeah, it's about a family that runs a megachurch. It's got Danny McBride. I think once you put those two pieces together, you got kind of the vibe for the show.
Yeah. So it kind of centers around these siblings that grew up in the megachurch and are super spoiled, and it's 2 brothers and a sister, so I do relate to that
Right.
dynamic, obviously, and it's just... Oh my gosh, just lick the bone clean with that fucking show. It's so
Right.
good.
So
You've
good.
brought it up so many times. I wanted to give it a go, just like the Heretic movie we're talking about. 'Cause
Yeah.
I also have religious trauma, and you know what? It has taken over my life because that's what religious traumas do.
It does.
So just the fact, because I used to go to a megachurch, and that shit is bonkers.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So I definitely will. Where can you watch it?
I believe on Max.
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Or you talk to your good friend Tim. You bring over an SD card and
We
he
are
fills
so
it
sorry you had to hear that.
Well, I got a USB.
up. So there's that. Very good creative corner, Adele.
Thanks.
So Nate and Marcin, who would like to go next?
You
Fight,
go-
fight,
so then,
fight.
So then the normal
I'll go.
audience, the normal audience doesn't have to listen through me first.
Yes.
Get the normal stuff.
I will go next. So this is actually a very relevant to our guest that we have here. I don't usually do creative corners where it's stuff that I've made because I like to highlight other people and local artists and whatnot. It's a project that has become something I look back on as not something that was the greatest thing that I worked on, but it was something that it was really fun. And a lot of people who watch it tell me that it was really funny, and it makes me very happy when I hear that. It's Season of the Cursed.
Hell yeah.
It's a project me and Nate worked on in 2019 where we got together and we're like, we got a month to film all of this stuff, and we're going to spend every weekend together, and we're going to do it, and I'm going to stay up all night and edit it and go to work, and then we're going to have fun.
And then we're gonna have fun.
9 in the morning to 2 p.m. at least every day, and then we had days off or nights off. It's just all through it for like a month and a half at least, because we did songwriting and stuff before that.
Yeah, it was a lot leading. We had like maybe 2 months if we're pushing it,
Yeah.
maybe. But we wrote songs, we produced instrumentals. Like we had other musicians make stuff for us, and then we had to record and edit and film and go to locations and get
And
friends.
work full time.
And work full time. We had props made, and for a while I looked down on it a little bit because it was just it's just a home movie, and it doesn't kind of look.
It was a YouTube video.
Yeah,
to me.
exactly.
It's so good, though. I
that they're-
love it.
But that's the thing, watching Home Movies, the TV show, and then being a part of this podcast and talking to the animators and all these other people who are just like the process of creating an artist and whatnot, made me feel really a lot better about the project. It makes me feel a lot more love towards the project because you look back at it and like there's a lot of things that we messed up like real bad. But Season of the Cursed, we are making a YouTube channel for it. We already have, but we're gonna put
The Insta too.
the Insta. We're going to put the Season of the Cursed original onto that YouTube channel. We got one more edit we're doing for it. Nothing crazy like the second edit. Just adding a little
V3 edit will happen at some point.
Yeah,
but this is the V2 edit with an addition to an annotation, we'll say.
Yeah.
One annotation.
But we're throwing it up there along with like some bloopers that we never put out because there's a lot of bloopers.
Nice.
Or behind the scenes stuff
Yeah.
that never.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to edit the behind the scenes yet because 2020 happened, and we all
Yeah.
have our own stories with that, good or bad. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that my creative corner is the YouTube channel that we're putting like the OG Season of the Cursed before we throw up the Season of the Cursed 2 on there whenever that gets done at some point. I'm still working on the teaser. I just look over at Nate. He's just like,
up silent scream.
Yeah.
but yeah, we put a lot of work into it, especially that first time around. The month that we just worked together to make that thing happen was insane.
And also, too, everybody in this room so far, including Nick, has been at most of the Season of the Curse 2 shoots,
Yes.
too, and a big part of that. So thank you
Absolutely.
guys for
Yeah.
that. 'cause
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have
the
made it.
support and you guys actually just being there and being in everything and having fun and putting your own ideas and shit in is always fun. So
Well,
it's been awesome.
it's very easy to do when you can see the passion that goes into the project. And obviously, you know, knowing you two, well, even before I knew you, Nate, just knowing Marcin and the passion and love that goes into these projects, when you guys did finish Season of the Cursed, and yeah, like you said, that was like right in the pandemic. Everything was kind of crazy. You wanted to do some kind of screening, but we didn't know kind of what was going on, and getting a theater was a whole like weird thing. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this, dude. I've got a projector. I've got a backyard. We got a movie screen. Let's just fucking do this.
Yeah, it was a great time, especially before the movie even started. Tim did a little prank ski on us and threw up some videos from our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And I remember my cousin Ed was in the audience, and he said the funniest thing I've ever heard because Tim threw the videos up there of me doing something silly.
It was
or
the Halloween
skit when I'm dancing with lightsabers. Yeah, and I just hear Eddie in the crowd. He's like, "Oh, thank God this is you, because if it was me, I'd kill myself."
Well,
Classic Eddie.
classic Eddie indeed. And I think Eddie was the only one in that group that night who had no idea that we were there to watch Season of the Curse.
Because as soon as it started,
He's
like,
like,
"You
why?
motherfucker."
Why are we watching? Because I before we were ready to watch it, I just threw on like a Office Halloween episode, a Simpsons Halloween episode, just like a bunch of random shit. And he's just like, "What's?"
You threw on one of mine Minecraft episodes or something too, I want to say, and I was just like, "Oh hell yeah, this is fucking replays."
So, but yeah, Season of the Curse. It's still like out there, right? The
Oh, yeah.
first one. Okay.
It's on my channel right now, which is my experimental testing grounds where I just throw stuff I'm working on.
We did have the OG version of it up where it's super baked, where it was like 100 megs, and I called it Season of the Curse 2019, but it's beamed off of the Voyager satellite. And it was set as the trailer for the channel, and it's just it's maybe 20 pixels.
Oh yeah,
The whole movie.
the first draft was the
OG cut of it. That's the only way it publicly air quotes whatever it gets right now, but it's still up. So.
Yeah, at one point Nate took that file and put it onto one of those diabetes pamphlets that you open up and it starts playing a video,
Yep.
and we just put it in the garage and sat back and watched it.
Dude, we smoked an entire blunt. It was up on the red car, balanced off like a water bottle or something, and we're both sitting in it's a chair that's 2 seats in one, but it's a fold-out chair.
Yeah.
So we're just sitting there, just high as fuck, watching it on a screen that's like the size, like a little bit bigger than a Nintendo DS screen. The speakers on the front of it, they're like a pinhole.
And at one point it fell over in the middle of the movie, so we had to open it up and it restarts.
Oh no!
We can't
shit.
pause it. Yeah.
Yep, it's still. I was gonna bring it too, but just for fun. But it's in my room. It's just not charged.
Damn.
That's funny.
Can't go my fucking DVD charging.
But yeah, that was my creative corner. If you guys want to go watch our old home movie, Season of the Cursed, at Season of the Cursed on YouTube. That's where we're going to be throwing all that stuff up. We'll be sending that too, including the teaser for Season of the Cursed 2.
The 2019 original promo we did before fully filming anything just went up on 420 at 4:20 a.m. also for fun. I found the file. I'm like,
Let's
let's
go.
go. So
I forgot about that.
just so that it has
completely.
something up. Yeah, 'cause we were gonna film there. It was at my great grandma's old property, and then we just didn't film it there.
That's awesome. Well, that's a very good creative corner, Marcin,
Yee.
which leaves just one more creative corner left for us today.
Oh, okay. All right. So as aforementioned was Punkin Replays, which is now it's its own YouTube channel, but it's different content. It was my gaming series on Punkin Nonstop but then I separated it to have just even more shit on another YouTube channel. But it's stuff that I do more experimentally, like leaving music in games, like it's from 2007, just playing the game with no mic or just the game, etc. But recently, I've been really getting more into a game that I never really fell out of was from 2001, Legends of Might and Magic, and I recently learned that that one's more of a, not a spin-off, but the online battling version of the story-based games of Might and Magic. But I've been really big into that kind of small but whatever community for the last few years since I got my gaming computer in 2020. So it's about, April 2020 I got my parts in, and my cousin Steven from formerly Moonfall helped me build it. And then I was like, I'm getting LOM running on this right away. And I went through like every map and a bunch of the custom maps, and it was in 4K. So I'm like, no one's putting Might and Magic out with commentary that's funny and good at playing the game in 2020. So like the LOM 4K series went up, and a lot of people watched it. And people that had been in the Facebook community from LOM HQ headquarters for years that I'd known started watching it and commenting, and like Minotaur Mike and Blamo/2 LOM are OG guys, so they're more around your age, and they're like, back when I was 27 playing this one that came out, and I'm like, I was 3. But yeah, so it's just cool. But they have Blamo has been teaching me how to do, or getting the files together to do different types of map editing and making and customizing, or like making yourself tiny in the maps and the enemies giant. But it's fun playing online versus people will set up a gathering date where anybody that has the game can join, and it's usually 12 people if it's full on Minotaur's servers, and we just rotate through different maps and play in different battle styles and whatever, and just type only through game chat. There is Discord, and everybody's in it to like make sure the files are right and everything. But we'll just all type through that, and they use like old terms like GF, get fucked. And it's just so funny. But that game, basically, the online version is teams of 6, good and bad, and different sorcerers of might and magic, like swords, bows and arrows, and then magic shooting weapons and stuff. Go to either grab the princess and save her, get her to the door, or the carriage, or the warlord he's like a one-hit kill type of guy, and you have to get him to escape. Kind of the thing like that, but I just always loved the art style and the gameplay of it, and it was so fun. But people like Blamo and Mike have optimized it from the original files to where anybody can just grab it for free, and there's custom maps that anybody, if you know how to edit it and de-edit, which is a super like outdated program, but it works with the files still, it populates with LOM, and then you can do whatever with it and then save it and run it. But custom maps, custom textures, custom sounds, and just generally making the game update. It's like, this version runs on Windows XP 8, 10, or 11 patch. And then he's like, well, this is how to fix it on that, but I run it on Linux, and I've ran it on Mac before. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. But yeah, so that's, I guess, my creative corner. I try to just keep it down to that. I do a lot of other gaming stuff you've been on Fallout stuff, and you've been on a bunch of other stuff like Life is Strange and some classic series. Adele's been in the background with Tim on some of them. Shout out to Adele. So
thanks, I'm here too.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, technically.
Yeah.
But this is a running theme on this podcast where we talk about just old games that we're going back to because like modern games are just incredibly expensive and most of the time broken. So
or in-app purchases.
Yes.
If it's broken is one thing. If it's not like fun or just like a super rehash or something, I'm like, I could just play something that it's inspired from and enjoy it for free.
Right.
Yeah.
So
LOM sounds like 90s Overwatch to me. It's just the way that you describe some of the gameplay.
Kinda, yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's always really fun because people are like, oh man, this is really fun playing with you guys. Sometimes it was people were so competitive and mean, and I'm like, nah, not here. No. We're just all fucking around.
What are we talking here? Is this first person? Is this top down? Is this like Diablo style?
No, it's first person. You can mainly just see like a little bit of hands or the different weapons. And whenever you spawn, it's 5-minute rounds. Whenever you spawn, there's like a buy option to where there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. To where 1 is like, I get them flip flop, but 1 is like might weapons, and depending on the characters, you get a different, most expensive one when you save up that money. And then on number 2, the magic weapons, sort of thing. Then like armors, and then scrolls, and the holy hand grenade. There's a lot of shenanigans that goes on with the holy hand grenade. You'll have 6 people load in after like 4 rounds, and you just hear, and everybody's buying a holy hand grenade for 1,000. Nice. I set up a macro on the infamous floor pedal USB that I used for editing as the delete key. I would just change it, and I set it up to be B for buy, tab 4-6. And that instantly opens up and buys the grenade and closes it.
Nice.
So it's just instant grenade button unload if you wanted to, and it's like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
But that game is a lot of fun. Everybody's just, like, it's fun learning how other people play and then going, damn! And then I just switch between, like, the cameras. It has a really I say futuristic, but, like, camera system for if you die, for watching people on Spectate. You can just, like, click through left and right click to go through the people. You can hit the / button, and that turns the HUD off, so you get a full screen. You can do, like, a locked chase cam, or one where you move the mouse around and the person still moves as normal, but like you just spin it 360 around them.
That's cool.
And then there's also just full ghost cam mode, where while the whole match is running, you can just fly around wherever as a camera and watch it. So that's very fun.
Sounds very customizable.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, very
absolutely.
customizable. That's what I was saying with Blammo /Tulam on YouTube. He does a lot of that stuff. So shout out JDB. All right. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, very good creative corner. Everyone, maybe me, who knows? We'll see later on, I guess.
Tim, I'm sure yours will be great.
We'll see. We'll see
scared.
about that.
I know what it is, and I'm going to
Only-
say, yeah, it is.
Only Tim knows where the antidote is, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. All right, gang. Well, let's jump into this episode, shall we? This episode, it opens not on a TV, but with a passing school bus as we pan by several children, including Walter and Perry. And we even see Natasha for a split second in the background before we land on Brendan, Jason, and Melissa. Now, this episode did have commentary, and they even say this episode opens with a very, like, Flash animated kind of. The way it's, like, panning through stuff is very Flash animated.
I love the animation of this.
Absolutely. So
Fun.
we land on Brendan, Jason, and Melissa. Melissa's telling Jason not to eat too much candy at the Halloween party. Immediately, Jason says, "You're not my mother."
She takes it in stride here. She doesn't play around with him, but she has a smile on her face the entire time, no matter how much fucking Jason's a piece of shit to her.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why she likes messing with him.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point, too, she knows what she's dealing with. You know? Well, Melissa pushes back and says she's going to be there, and she's the one who has to be with him at the party. So she tells Brendan to back her up, and that's when Jason yells that he's the candy monster and he needs candy. Brendan and Melissa even are like, oh, shit, before Jason says, gotcha. Fixes his hair. Melissa laughs at this. She thinks this is very funny.
She thinks her man's funny.
Surprising based off the last time he went through a candy rage.
I
Yeah.
did like the way that he said gotcha. He's like, gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure I brought this up like the second we had a storyline with Jason involving candy, that they do treat this like a drug addiction,
Yeah.
right? And Jason even says, guys, I'm off the stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had candy and it's been a month. I got off cold turkey. Brendan even says, oh, I love cold turkey.
Real.
Jason asks Melissa what she's going to dress up for Halloween, and she says she's going to dress up as the Grim Reaper. Melissa asks Brendan what he's going to dress up as, and he tells her, well, he can't tell her. It's a secret. That's when Mr. Lynch approaches and says good morning to the kids. All three of them do that in unison. Good morning, Mr. Lynch. He asks if they're excited for the Halloween party, and again in unison they say, yes, Mr. Lynch. He even tells them to stop doing it, and you see Jason look at Brendan and Melissa back and forth, like, and they're like, yes, Mr. So they're all like in for the bit. Mr. Lynch asks Melissa what she's dressing up as, and again she says the Grim Reaper. So then he asks Jason, and Jason says he's dressing up as an insurance adjuster.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Lynch is even like, ooh,
Yeah, that
very
is
scary.
Yeah.
And last, Mr. Lynch asks Brendan what he's dressing up as, and Brendan says he's not telling, but he'll give the hint of best costume ever. The way he says ever.
There's an old clip that I know Marcin has seen before from me that I quote all the time. It's somebody making their own Majin Buu, the fat Majin Buu costume, and they're doing like masking tape with it, and they're like, "This could be the best costume ever, really. You don't know." And then they just That clip is so good. This could be the best costume ever, really. You don't know. Just, like, hell yeah. I love the energy from it. It was always so funny.
I can't believe I was like, I'm not gonna know what you're talking about. And the second you brought it up, I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, that video is so good.
Yeah, sometimes those old videos just stick to you.
BCE, best costume ever.
Best costume ever.
I wanted to see Brendan's reaction when Lynch said what he was gonna be, because like I'm not gonna say what it is, but he apparently was supposed to react to it because his costume, you know.
Right. Well, he confesses he's been working on his costume for 6 months. And that's when Mr. Lynch says he's there to announce that he's dressing up as a kitty cat. And immediately Brendan is upset because apparently that was his costume idea as well.
I wish we could have at least seen the cat costume that he worked 6 months on.
Dude, is there like developer pictures of the costume?
I don't think so.
We need to ask
Damn.
them. Like, like early draft of, if we show it, and then he goes, nah. What if we get it? What if we get it by asking? Or can we get one?
I seriously, I feel like, God, dude, I ask so many questions of the animators I do talk to, and I feel like it's like a genie's wish thing where I'm like, I might be running out of wishes soon. I gotta make sure they're worth it.
The monkey's paw.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
finger.
Yeah.
No, I think the animators genuinely like answering your questions.
I sure hope so, because every time I ask more than 2 questions, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll stop bugging you, I swear. I just...
Also, the note I put for Lynch is bowling pin looking
He does, dude.
He is very bowling pin shaped, yes. Oh, shit. Well, the next scene opens, and we have Paula with a very pregnant Linda in the kitchen.
As soon as I said, wait till you see what I wrote. As soon as I saw her, I was like, hey. And then I wrote Linda when I learned her name, and I put hot but troubling.
Wait, did you watch any other episode with Linda in it?
Not that I remember.
Oh, damn.
Seeing, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
It was
perfect.
Yeah, no,
That's perfect.
That's why I was like, what?
That's funny.
But
Yeah.
and then I like the pickle jar on the table.
That's funny. So we have seen Linda before. Linda is technically Brendan's stepmom.
Okay.
We've seen Linda when her and Brendan's dad were just dating, and the season 2 finale was called The Wedding, which was Linda and Brendan's dad and their wedding.
So for context, your definition of Linda of hot but troubling,
You clocked her.
you really did.
Well, first because he's like, hey, Brennan Jr. it's like, what? I'm like, he's like 8?
Yeah, Linda's always got to do some weird fucking shit.
Now, Linda has had a character development arc across the couple, so there's been a couple episodes with Linda here and there. I think she has, like, gone a little bit farther than most of the other characters I hate, but she still has some troubling things that she does.
Yeah.
Just, like,
Absolutely.
Did they clarify if, like, because it said Brennan Jr. Is he the father?
No.
Listen,
That's why I said troubling. I'm like,
Linda.
is it child relations?
Listen,
was why I was
Linda.
like, troubling?
So this is why I will never be on Team Linda, because she's always doing weird shit like this. In the episode where they get married, Brendan is like getting dressed, and while he's in his underwear, she takes a picture of him.
Yeah,
hell no.
she opens the curtain, and he's like, why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer. And then she does.
Yeah. So, and then to have like all these jokes about how like Brendan was the one who knocked her up. Linda, you're on my
Okay.
list. You're on
Yeah.
my list, Linda. I'm sorry.
See, I
One
thought
of-
that was factual.
One of the first episodes with Linda, she comes out because Brendan is staying at his dad's, and she comes out in like a nightie. And even Brendan's dad is like, hey, maybe put some clothes on there, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you Team Brendan?
Yeah.
Are you Team Paula?
Yeah.
Brendan filmed a naked woman.
He's a child.
Yeah, okay.
Linda's a
And he
grown
did not
woman.
do that on purpose.
Yeah.
That's fair. And then Paula was like, well, at least he got to see a naked lady.
I called her out for
you
that.
did. You did. I'll give you that.
Yep.
I'll give you that. I'm just saying, Linda has had a character arc over the
Yeah.
course of the episode
She-
she's been
yeah.
on.
Listen, it's
She-
always our goal in life to grow as people, but some people who grow are still fucking weird assholes.
Right.
So, Linda, your name's on my list in permanent marker, but I can
Well.
scratch it out. But it'll always
Well.
be there.
And she's growing physically because she be pregnant.
Yeah.
So Paula's telling Linda it's okay, really. I'm not just saying that because it's awkward, even though it is awkward.
I did. So my first reaction when I saw Linda there was not that she was pregnant because she was eating ice cream. I thought she was eating her feelings. I thought they divorced already.
Oh, shit.
That was my first reaction.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, so I thought she was just like, oh, I'm sad.
So she goes to his ex-wife's house.
Well, she knows what
Trauma
happened.
bonding.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows she's got pistachio ice cream.
Right. Well, that's when Brendan walks in and says hello to his mom, and then in a very different tone says hello to Linda. He even then proceeds to say hello to little baby Brendan Jr. He says, how's it going in there, little beep boop doop doodly doop doo?
Jazz.
He even says, oh, what's that? You want to come out and see me? And I think he says, that's the cutest thing you've ever said. Before Linda says, that's annoying. Linda, as always, is voiced by Laura Silverman, Sarah Silverman's sister.
Nice.
She's voiced Linda from The Jump, and she does a very good job. So, yeah, the entire time she's downing a tub of what I'm assuming is ice cream. Blue ice cream, I guess.
It's like a teal.
Yeah, I was guessing mint, like, I don't know, mint or pistachio. I don't know. Yeah. Look good, though.
Well, that's when Paula informs Brendan that Linda will be staying with them for a little while. And Brendan immediately gives it an okay, and then asks where his dad is. Linda informs him that he went out of town on a business trip, but he'll be back in time for the baby, so don't worry about it. Brendan makes it clear that he is not worried, and Linda immediately says, me neither. Brendan says, that makes two of us, and Paula says, I'm not worried. Brendan says, that makes three. And again, Linda says, well, I'm not worried. And Brendan says, back down to two.
That was funny.
Good bit. Well, Linda points out it's time for her Lamaze class, and Paula apologizes for not being able to take her. And that's when Brendan offers to go with her instead. Linda is hesitant, but finally agrees. So immediately we're in Lamaze class. Linda's laying down on a mat, and we see a poster behind her that says breastfeed. It's the law.
Yeah.
God. That's going to be real soon.
Yeah, that's what I thought when
no.
I saw it. I wrote breastfeed. It's the law.
That was you during the episode, like it just appeared and you pointed. You're like that.
Yeah, I was like, didn't they just say that last week?
Oh no.
Better life.
Better life.
Better life.
Nightmare.
Well, like I said before, I do have a tendency to message. Well, it's honestly, it's two animators at this point. It's David Sanangelo and Steve Rogan. I got a chance to talk to Steve, who did say he worked pretty extensively on this episode. And he said he remembers in this scene with the Lamaze class, it was his call to put, I don't know if you saw like the baby bump, like the stretch mark lines and the lines.
Mm-hmm.
He had just come off of leave from having a kid and is like, hey, if you're going to show these pregnant bellies, add these lines, the little stretchies and the little.
That's cool. I did notice that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
So very good attention to detail.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Your belly button pops out.
Yeah.
Like a little finger.
My Audi, I'm pregnant.
Listen, all respect to any pregnant people out there. Every time I've seen it, I've always just been scared. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to burst. I had a coworker who would, in order to walk around, she'd have to lift her stomach. She was so big.
Yeah.
And, oh God, not in a gross way. I'm just scared for that person because it just sounds so painful.
Yeah, you're essentially torturing your own body. I have a coworker who is pregnant right now, and when you are pregnant, your body releases these hormones which make your joints kind of loosey-goosey and not connected anymore. So her hips will just like pop out randomly when she's walking. So she has to walk with a cane now. And I'm like, girl, and she's like, girl, do never get pregnant. And I'm like, I'm already on that plan.
Jesus, I watched an episode of Scrubs at one point, and they did like a cutaway gag or whatever when the doctor walked in. He's like, you will definitely fart, poop, and piss in front of your friends and family, and your vagina has an 80% chance of ripping, and then thumbs up.
Yep.
It's like, ah!
It can rip in any direction, ladies.
I'm uncomfortable everywhere on my body.
It's fun being a lady.
Woo!
Well, Linda tells Brendan to come over because he's supposed to be helping her, and he said he'll be there in a minute. He said, I'll be there in a minute. I just have to finish coloring the bumblebee's butt. Linda asks Brendan again to come over there and hold her hand or help her or do something. Brendan fires back. Do it yourself, lazy ass.
Got her.
I swear to God, Brendan and like, there's something that they like pull from each other, like this energy that they bring to the conversation every time for them specifically. Because Brendan has never talked to anybody like that. Mm-hmm. It's just her.
Brendan simultaneously hates and lusts after Linda. Simultaneously.
I've met people like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's a big oof.
Well, not helping their cause with Nate to figure out if Brendan's actually dad.
Oh, fuck.
There's a quote coming up here that they said I had to quote because who wouldn't write this down if you hear it? I think we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that's when Linda says out loud, "That's what I get for getting knocked up by an 8-year-old."
That's the one.
Yeah. Hey, Linda, you need to be on another list.
Yep.
You need to be in a registry.
So that's what she would call a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just like she was spitting facts.
It's like when Paula was, I think it was the season 1 finale, when they came up and, "Are you his mother?" And he's like, "No, I'm his girlfriend." And Brendan's like, "We broke up."
Right.
That's such a boy mom thing to fucking do, dude.
I know.
Yeah. Well, the couple next to her looks fucking horrified, and rightfully so.
I meant to see their reaction, and I completely forgot to see what their reaction was.
Dead and gaping. Their mouths are just like, what?
Dead and gaping.
My studio album.
Yes. And that's when Brendan says, "It's not my fault you're pregnant, is it?"
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just kept doubling down on it.
Yeah, they sure did. It was 2003.
It was also on Adult Swim, so man, you could have been like, "Yeah, I guess that's the premise here."
Well, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. They're like, "Hey, just curse all you want. Who cares?
Yeah.
We'll bleep out the harsh ones. It's fine." Well, the next scene starts with a ringing doorbell. We see a sign on the door that says, "No candy, go away." We see a shirtless McGurk answer the door. I don't know if you noticed, he's holding a stuffed duck.
I did.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
I didn't notice that.
But when he sees that it's a woman at the door, he immediately throws the stuffed duck on the ground.
Yeah, he fucking whipped that.
So is the stuffed duck like his little plushie that he sleeps with?
Yeah.
Aw.
It's on the floor. You see it later on the floor, like half behind the couch.
Dude, I totally missed that. That's low-key kind of sweet.
Well, McGurk is kind of a sweet person. He just has very stupid ideas about life. Yeah. When I saw who knocked on the door, I was, woo, baby, woo!
Well, the woman goes on to say she's a representative of the Crystal Spirit family, a spiritual organization, and they're looking for recruits. The woman has a shaved head and a pair of crystals as earrings and a crystal necklace as well. And if we couldn't already tell, this is Paula's friend Stephanie from Law & Order and the season 2 finale, The Wedding. Stephanie is again voiced by Kelly Kimball. It appears that neither of them recognize each other off the bat. So they did mention that in commentary that this scene, and basically up until Stephanie says something, is to be written as if they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But as we see in the flashback, they very much do know each other.
I can understand why McGurk didn't recognize her, but I'm confused as to why she didn't recognize him.
Yes.
What were the episodes that you saw, Nate?
Oh shit, Tim sent me them. Do you remember which ones you sent off rip? Because I watched up through the medieval times one.
Sure, yeah. So it would have been Law and Order.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been the season 1 finale, season 2 Dad, Law and Order, The Wedding, and I think that was it.
Okay, so did you watch the episode with McGurk, The Wedding?
I don't remember The Wedding.
That's where Stephanie and McGurk met in the Wedding episode of season 2 finale, where McGurk basically fumbled because he got scared that a woman was
Actually came onto him.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, listen, I don't know why it's been this way, but Stephanie has been like one of my favorite characters since I saw her. She hasn't been the greatest, I'll admit that. Take that! Throws China. Take that! Throws China. Take that! My couch! But she's... I just don't know what it is. I love chaotic characters. But when I saw her here, I love her look.
Oh, yeah.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Love it.
I wrote that she reminded me of one of the old cartoon McDonald's nuggets.
What?
Because she's bald, I guess.
Yeah.
I suppose.
As a mainly bald man, I can say that.
I was gonna say for me, I thought it was like Keita from Atlantis. She gave off that vibe.
Okay. All right.
But
The way it was drawn looked like she almost like pulled her hair out instead of like shaved it, like
Well,
the little dots. I was like, oh no.
is that like henna or is that tattoo?
I thought
The
it was
little
tattoo.
dots?
Yeah.
yeah.
I assumed that like when your hair grows back, you get those like little dots. At least my leg hair does. It gets like little black dots on my legs.
I
but-
believe they said in commentary that it was the result of her shaving her head.
Okay,
Gotcha. Okay, I thought it was a tattoo, and I was like, "That looks great." I was like, "She's got a great look." And you know what? I don't know what it is, but McGurk was like, "I got more confidence this time around. Don't know what it is."
Well, she talks about how she wants to be less intimidating, so maybe that's why.
I suppose. I was just so happy to see Stephanie come back.
Yeah, I like her in this form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
genuinely.
Well, and I noticed something too interesting in the very last scene. Because it's been set up this whole episode that she's looking for recruits.
Yeah.
So, and when she tells Coach that, he even says, "Sounds great, sign me up." Stephanie seems genuinely surprised by this, which kind of tells me that she does not get invited. Like, people aren't typically like, "Hey, yeah, cool, go on, tell me more, come on in." You know, I mean, literally when he's like, "Yeah, cool, sign me up," she's like, "Really? Oh, that's great."
I think she says later, like, I get nervous when I go door to door because she has a little bit of alcohol on her breath.
Yes.
Understandable.
Right. Well, now we're in McGurk's apartment, sitting on the couch. On the end table, we do see the framed picture of McGurk and his goldfish, Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy! Sammy!
He loved that fish.
He did. Sammy's gone.
And
sweet.
in past episodes, maybe I haven't noticed it, but was his coffee table always held up by the
Two beer boxes? Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
believe
Black
so.
Hole Brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's always been like beer cases and a piece of wood.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know
awesome.
why I never realized it.
I think it's
just-
always been like zoomed in. I think this is the first
Ah.
time we're like zoomed out because you have to have two characters on
Right.
the couch.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. So immediately, Coach tells Stephanie her outfit is weird, and she tells him it's a new outfit because she wasn't doing so well in the old one. She says she wants to be less threatening, and McGurk says it's working. She tells him that he's very sweet. She gives him a pamphlet that says find salvation and create your own morals and beliefs. And Coach is like, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Stephanie goes on to say they see God in everything, and McGurk says that she's into crystals, which he is also into, saying he used to collect them, as well as baseball cards and Civil War memorabilia.
You got two Lugers.
I wrote down I'll be short with it, an obscure thing because he was naming off things he used to collect while the lady with crystals was there. I collected it was like an 11 comic series called Crystar the Crystal Warrior. That was it. He had like an action figure line and they made comics, and one of the comics, instead of having him on it, they put like a human with his helmet on and like a tennis racket in the little marble thing. I don't know, it was just cool as hell. And supposedly they said that Glenn Danzig stole the skull from the Crystar comic. It's
Yep.
like a rework of Mother where it's Crystar is the lyrics. Like, Crystar.
I can't
And
even-
like,
I can't even picture. I'm gonna have to look that up in a second.
But yeah, I just wanted to see. That's an obscure thing if anybody would ever know. I don't know.
At this point, Stephanie says she's starting to feel like she's finding a soulmate.
Girl. Just because he collects crystals, all right.
Just because he's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Do you think he actually used to collect crystals?
I think he used to collect rocks and call them crystals.
Yes, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, dude.
Yeah. At one point, Coach says he's starting to lose his breath, and Stephanie asks him if he's ever tried channeling before. And that's when Coach says he usually doesn't wake up this early.
I didn't catch it the first time I saw this episode, but when he said he's like can't catch his breath, like I wrote down like, oh shit, that's like them foreshadowing what
Yeah.
happens later in the episode.
So they do mention that in commentary, and there's a couple foreshadowings, not just he is losing his breath early. And like a couple scenes from now, when Lynch is talking to him in the teacher's lounge, he's eating like a whole apple strudel and like
Yeah.
drinking a grape soda and
Oh,
and
yep.
yeah.
Is
they-
that gonna make you have a heart attack?
is that
It'll make you happy for a little
Bad?
bit.
Oh, yes, it
Can we just
will. Ooh.
I did like the name of the soda because I know it's a word that some people say is like a a cancel word for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Spaz grape. But back in the day, ICP made an energy drink called Spasmatic. So that was what I wanted to bring up. That was like that came up just before that.
Yes.
So I wonder if they had saw that.
Yeah, I believe the soda has come up before, and I want to say that we brought that up, but that's definitely something more in like the UK. They're like, we don't say that
Yeah.
anymore.
Same like with my cat's name being censored on YouTube.
What's your kid's?
Sissy.
Oh.
YouTube censors it because it's like
Oh.
an insult over there. I'm like, no, it's my cat, dude.
You can upload
Yeah.
that on
Huh.
Pornhub.
Oh, sure.
His cat.
The word.
Jeez.
I was going to say because Spaz Cola actually was the last time we saw that was in the party episode with Jason and Melissa. The same episode where Jason was going berserk over candy. So
Right.
very fun.
Yeah. Well, the following scene, we see Paula and Linda sitting on the couch with Brendan trying to get their attention. Linda appears to be eating fried chicken. I think it was called, like, I couldn't quite make out the name. I think it was like Sergeant Greasy's
Yeah.
Yes.
fried chicken.
That's why I put my glasses on. I needed to read it.
Yeah. And then in her hand was a jar of butterscotch.
I wrote butterscotch and wings.
Yeah.
So she was dipping the chicken in butterscotch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Hey, when
Lit-
you're pregnant, though.
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
good.
You could-
Tennessee sweet.
That's the thing about, listen, I don't ever want to have kids for many reasons, but like something I find interesting is when women are pregnant and the type of cravings they have.
Mhm.
When apparently my mom was pregnant with me, she really liked ice chips and Reese's.
Mm.
I think it was my sister, she was pregnant, she loved sardines and honey.
Together?
Yeah,
Bro, that's wild.
it is wild. But like,
I've heard of pickles and peanut butter.
ugh,
Yeah.
I hate pickles.
When
Oh, I can see that.
Oh my
polarizing.
God. I would put a hot dog, peanut butter, and a pickle spear on a tortilla as a little kid.
Oh my god.
I entered that into like an Oscar Mayer contest for a new hot dog recipe.
Have you had it recently?
I haven't had it in years. I wanted to do it for a video. With
You
that
should,
story.
just to see if it still holds up.
Oh, just
My
like
dumb ass would be like, this shit hits.
Well, during this scene, just a quick background catch. While Brendan is trying to get their attention, on the TV, we see a news anchor talking about someone winning a Nobel Peace Prize. The character model for whoever won the Nobel Peace Prize was pretty good. So I'm like, okay, this is probably someone. So I did message today. I messaged David Santangelo and Steve Rogan. And the funny thing is, both of them replied to me and said, oh, I'm not positive, but that looks like animator Corey Mitchell.
Ooh.
And they both gave me the same name. And I was like, confirmed, we did it.
I did notice that because I said the same anchor has gray hair now for some reason because
Yeah.
it was the original anchor we used to see all the time, and then the one that I always look and see, I'm like, that just looks like Tucker fucking whatever his name is. You know, so it was interesting that he has gray hair now, but he still has that same smug face.
I was going
Right.
to say Tucker Corn Dog.
That's his name from now on. That's how I'm going to refer to him.
So, yeah. So I'm talking about the person who's winning the Nobel Prize on the news
Oh.
report. Yeah.
Okay.
They both said they think that's animator Corey Mitchell. They weren't 100% sure, but both of them came up with the same answer, so I'm going to say yes.
That's cool.
I'll say yes too.
Yes.
Solidarity.
I will say.
I think the only person that can tell me otherwise is Corey Mitchell. If he's like, no,
I
that
will
was not
say
me.
Corey is in the house.
Yeah.
Dude, true.
All right. Well, Brendan is telling them that he programmed the phone so that if you press memory and the number 5, it will automatically dial 911. As he's showing them this, he actually hits memory and number 5, and we hear the 911 dispatch on the other end, and Brendan tells them that it was an accident. Immediately, dispatch asks where the accident is, and Brendan goes on to explain, no, I made a mistake. And the dispatcher reprimands Brendan and tells him the line is for emergencies only, and hangs up. So Brendan tells them again, if anyone has any questions about memory 5, to let him know, remember that's memory and the number 5, to which he again presses, calling 911.
That was so good. that cracked me up.
Yeah.
You did it again. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, he did, because the dispatcher answers again, and Brendan again explains there might be a baby, and never mind.
Yeah. I mean, that might be like a baby.
It's such a little kid thing to do, is to like accidentally call 911, do a prank call.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't prank call 911, but I had a situation. It wasn't like bad, but like my cousin and his dad were fighting verbally one day, and my dad was like, "If this gets too intense, call the cops." So I'd grab the house phone, and I did, and then hello, and I didn't know what to do as my uncle came in the room, and I'm like, "It's the cops." He's like, "Hey, oh, wrong number. Sorry, we're all good." They were just like screaming about like being able to use the TV or something. But it's just funny. So I was like, "Yeah, I've been in the."
Did they call back?
No, but we're like, "Oh, let's all just be chill in case they come by." We had a funny cop story.
I butt dialed the cops at one point when we were having. I forget what we were talking about.
It was me, you, and Adrian
Yeah.
in the backyard of the house I was living at the time, and we were literally. It
Were
was
you
2020,
shit-talking the
so
cops?
it was 2020, so all the news stuff at the time was
Yeah, the
that
protests,
related
yeah.
protests. So he was on the phone and pulls it out, 9-minute phone call.
It was the emergency. You know, like sometimes you bump around and it goes into emergency call.
Yeah.
So I had done that for 9 minutes and it was on there, and
you were talking shit?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Oh
talking
my
a lot of shit.
We were outside in the backyard, so we just like stayed outside in the backyard during the daytime. I forgot that last year or 2 years ago, my phone actually did that. It, like I was watching some video and Mr. Beast's face got like warped in it, and it was funny. So I went to pause it and screenshot it, and my phone froze. And I'm hitting all the buttons trying to do this stuff, but if you spam the power button, it calls the cops automatically.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't know when it goes at like 4 in the morning, and I'm like cramming it into the couch. Go here. 911, what's your emergency? And I find my phone, and I'm like, hello? Like, 911, what's your emergency? And I said, I tried to screenshot a video, and my phone froze, and then I hit the power button a bunch, and now we're on the phone. I'm going to turn that setting off, but I'm okay. Oh, all right. Have a good night.
I'm sure that happens to them a lot.
God,
Yeah.
I forgot about that because it was the alarm noise was so scary. I'm like, how to turn that off once my phone died? I had to plug it back in. I'm like, nice.
Brendan goes on to explain that he will be filming the birth, so he had the opportunity to write them some dialogue in case they freeze up in the moment.
That was awesome.
Linda tells Brendan they're not going to let him videotape the birth, and Brendan says he knows his rights.
Who wants to film that? No one. You should. That is okay. I don't want to use this too long, but like, why do fathers and people want to film that?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I personally don't want to see it,
Filming
but
the moment is one thing, but directly filming like the baby
Yeah.
coming out, no.
I feel like some people, not me, but some people like they see that as like the miracle of life. They need to like document it because it's their child
Yeah.
being birthed into the world, but it's also like your significant other's genitals for everyone to see
Yeah.
being torn to shreds. But hey, there's your bloody baby's head, I guess.
There's your clip.
Enjoy.
Anyone want a placenta?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw it out. So
No, I was
good.
good. I was gonna throw it out. Awesome.
Well, the phone rings. Brendan answers it. It's the 911 dispatcher asking Brendan why he hung up on him. Brendan says he thought the conversation was over, and the call ends with the dispatcher being like, "So, what are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Slow day.
Yeah, probably. Well, we're back at Coach's apartment. Stephanie's putting crystals on him, explaining that there is an afterlife, but Coach pushes back and says there is not. Stephanie says, well,
Barking.
Are you team no afterlife? Is that why you were cheering?
Why, you think I want to keep doing this?
Oh God! If there is, it better be different.
Free cam mode.
That's the only way.
Yes.
well, they argue back and forth for a bit, and finally Stephanie realizes where she knows him from. She even says, you're John McGurk, aren't you? You're the coach. Coach seems confused and asks, do I know you? And Stephanie says, hello. And I think that coach is like, hello. And that's when she tells them they know each other from Andrew Small's wedding. And that's when we get the flashback from the season 2 finale, The Wedding, where Stephanie takes off her dress and Coach says, oh dear. Well, we flash back to present, and now Coach says, oh shit. Coach confesses he does remember her, and then says, so, you're a kook now, huh?
Most bogus
Wild.
double fumble of all time.
Coach even says it's weird that he didn't recognize her from before. She is dressed differently. And she's dressed, for that matter. He even goes on to say she's sober, he thinks, but then confesses he did smell a hint of liquor on her breath. And that's when Stephanie says it does get a little nervous going door to door. I love this part. Coach offers to make her some eggs or some hot dogs. And Stephanie says yes. That would be great. So Coach suggests he combines the two to make her a hot dog omelet.
I wrote hot dog mentioned. I liked her pyramid hat. So
Oh, yeah.
I wrote pyramid emoji. 'Cause I thought there used to be one, but there's not.
I drew two doodles this time. Stephanie was one of them, and then
Doctor?
no, actually,
Really?
yeah, it wasn't. I was gonna go with the doctor, but then I saw Brendan in his costume, and I was like, I must do that one.
Nice.
But I love that in this scene, the camera keeps cutting to above McGurk, like looking down on him, and you see the symbol.
The crystal grid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
Crystals and
say,
the
did you
symbol.
see the? I wrote this is a phasmophobia reference. I wrote, cursed object is sigil. Grab lighter and picks.
I thought she was gonna kill him because it looked like that. The way
It was
that
like sacrifice.
Right.
I'm like,
Wait a
hell no.
you're that guy that left me naked. I'm gonna kill you now.
Sacrificial
And
dagger.
then she drew a yin yang sign on
Yeah.
his chest.
All right. Well, now we're in the teacher's lounge, and Lynch walks in on Coach McGurk eating that apple strudel.
Can I point out something?
Yeah, of course.
Outside the teacher's lounge, there's a sign that says "Teacher's Lounge Only."
Oh, I forgot I liked Coach's couch too. I wrote green couch. It looked like a gummy.
With all the patches sewn
Yeah,
into
it's
it.
so cool.
Patchwork.
Yeah. Oh, patches.
We're in the teacher's lounge. McGurk is eating that apple strudel.
I thought you were gonna say ass. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Sorry.
That's my boy. That's why he's naming me. That's why he's the GOAT.
Well, Lynch is making sure McGurk is set for the Halloween party, and that's when Coach informs him that he'll be bringing a date and not to give him any crap about it. Lynch says he just wants to make sure that he's there on time because Lynch has to pick up a lot of the kids. But instead, McGurk focuses more on his date, telling Lynch she is great looking. She's hot and she likes him. How's that equation for you? 1 + 2 = McGurk.
Yeah.
All right? 2 + 4 = she's hot. And 6 - 4 = that makes McGurk happy.
Finally, happy.
Penny went.
I expected him to open up his hands and have like a little hologram of Stephanie rotating his hands like Brendan.
You're my only hope.
Slow motion twirl. Well, Lynch says he doesn't care about that. He just needs to make sure McGurk shows up in costume. And he uses that opportunity to ask McGurk if he's curious as to what he's going to be dressed up as. Huh, McGurk? Curious? Wait.
I didn't understand the hint as to why curious equates to cat.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
I
like
didn't
to
hear that, but
formally apologize and announce that I'm a dumbass.
No,
no,
what Mr. Lynch was actually trying to say was that he was bi-curious.
That's what I thought. It was like either like a gay or bi-curious
Yeah.
thing.
Well, Coach doesn't get it either because he guesses Hitler.
That was wild. No.
Lynch tells him no, he's going as a kitty cat. Then proceeds to act like a cat, even licking McGurk on the face.
Damn. Lynch is a low-key freak.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What happened in Mexico stays in Mexico.
Well, Lynch gets up on the table, knocks over a bunch of he knocks over his can of soda. So Coach grabs Lynch and he says, "This is why I don't like talking to you." Lynch licks him one more time. And Coach says, "Now I'm going to punch you."
Oh,
This is how McGurk got his checks.
his checks.
Remember
He
he
had-
stole the checks?
Oh,
Yeah, Lynch's
yes.
checks.
By letting him lick him.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Well, the next scene we see Paula getting Josie ready. Now, I don't know if you guys caught this little detail
The
here.
hair is.
Josie is dressed as a little devil baby,
Yeah.
and her hair
And the hair is 666.
makes up a 666.
I didn't even
I noticed that it was
notice.
flipped this time because I saw. I'm like, oh, it's like Yeah, because I
Yeah.
wrote 3-6 baby.
Normally, it's like a 6 and then kind of a backwards
Yep.
twirl and then another 6. But yep, because she's dressed as a little baby devil, they flipped it to make a 666 on her
Aw.
forehead.
Devil.
That's so sweet.
Did not notice that one.
Great catch. Yeah.
I just picture Paula like taking gel and like forming her hair into little 6s.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of hell yeah.
I was just thinking about the fact that Linda and Paula can now go on like play dates with each other with their babies,
Yeah.
and they're gonna hate it.
Well, I mean, they're technically siblings. Oh wait, no, Josie. I mean, Josie's adopted, but like,
Right.
she's part of the family. They're siblings.
Yeah, she's on the family plan.
Yeah.
Well, we hear a doorbell ring. Linda answers it, and we see Walter and Perry dressed up as one ghost. Linda makes a comment, "Oh, scary, a ghost, how original." And immediately Walter and Perry ask what she's supposed to be. An ugly housewife?
Yeah.
Or a trailer trash junkie who's pregnant?
That's funny as fuck.
Oh, so sassy. Love it.
You know that earns you, Walter and Perry? Slam.
Yeah.
My respect.
Boom.
Yeah, did you notice Linda said slam as she slammed the door?
Yeah.
Slam.
I'm gonna start
Slam.
doing that now. I'm gonna start
Slam.
saying the sound effects
Click.
as they happen.
Click,
It's a wink.
slam, wink, wink. Click, slam, wink, wink.
Broke. That was my heart.
Oh, broke. That was my bank account.
Oh shit.
Broke. That was my back.
Mountain.
I was thinking mountain.
Brokeback Mountain.
So Brendan's explaining to Linda that his fin fell off, and she says to get the staple gun. And Brendan requests no more staples. I know Adele caught
Yeah,
this.
I heard that. No more staples.
No, we have a very quick
Oh, yeah.
scene of Linda. Next to her is a cauldron of candy, next to which is a
Witch gnome.
witch gnome.
Oh, I did see the little gnome.
I wrote witch gnome.
Yeah, so did I.
Gnomes are scattered through all these episodes, so we have to spot them like little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So funny enough, we had that little witch gnome.
My favorite gnome so far.
I liked the guitar gnome.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really dope gnome.
The ones you blink and you miss because did you guys know
My hand's raised.
Yes, Marcin.
there's another gnome
Yes, there is. I saw that one.
right after? I'm sorry. We hear a doorbell ring again, and this time it's Jason, Melissa, and Mr. Lynch. Just as they promised, Jason is a insurance adjuster. Melissa is the Grim Reaper, and Mr. Lynch is dressed as a kitty cat. Melissa is holding a staff with what looks like 3 shrunken heads on it,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
and one of the heads is a garden gnome.
Damn, I'm
Okay,
really
yeah.
slacking. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
I like
It's-
the little heads.
We're a
yeah.
team.
I'd like to
They
make another formal apology.
They show the staff a couple times,
Uh-huh.
but again, if you're not really looking for it, it is a very blink and you'll miss it.
There, yeah.
I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
a very
The 666 hair too. You could see.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh shit, dude.
So at the top of the staff.
And then the pig head. Well, I was actually gonna write down. It's like a literal pig head with a spine coming
Yeah.
down.
I did. That's
Yeah.
the pig head in Renaissance where Jason brought it back and
So
showed it.
that was a ceramic one. This one does seem to have a spine hanging from the bottom of
I
it,
was gonna
mouth
write the pig
open.
head and I forgot, but
We
yeah.
love a spooky bitch.
The, like
here
McDonald's
for it.
ghost pail is still cool. Too.
Yeah.
I saw that shit.
Shit. I love how Jason is off candy, but he still wants to like trick or treat with everybody.
Of course.
And have the experience.
The empty bucket in case they give out something other than candy.
Pennies.
An apple.
Did you ever watch Over the Garden Wall?
I've seen the first couple episodes. I never finished it.
Ah, you should. It's
I
just,
know.
It's a movie length. It's great. But one of the characters in there has the same exact makeup that Melissa has right there. So I don't know if they reference that later on because it could be just a coincidence, as we call them. But that was the only thing I could think when I saw the makeup.
Yeah.
What year
Yeah.
was that from? Because this was 2002 is when they made it.
I believe it was 2016, 2017. So it could be. It was based around. It was on Halloween, and she was wearing the same makeup, similar.
Yeah, I think that's a
Interesting.
very. I've worked at a costume shop. That's a pretty traditional like skull face makeup
Yeah.
job. So
Almost like the Misfits.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The teeth.
Papa Shango.
The shit.
So there you go.
Danzig again.
But so yeah, 2 back-to-back, like blink and you miss some gnomes right there in
Yeah.
this one scene.
I did see them both, but I didn't know that was the Easter egg, so that's fun.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, gnomes are kind of a thing. They've just been sprinkled throughout the show, and I've talked to now 3 people who have worked on the show, including the guy who came up with the original art designs of a lot of the characters, and none of them have given me like a solid reason as to why gnomes. And I would love if by the end of the podcast we can figure it out, but it might be one of history's mysteries.
Ooh, History's Mystery. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
In the season 3 art that we have for the podcast, there is a garden gnome in there.
I did see the one that Nick had one.
Oh, so will the season 4 art have it as well?
Ooh, stay tuned.
Well, the trio says trick or treat. Melissa gets candy, but Jason very responsibly says none for me, thanks. Melissa asks if Brendan is ready to go to, quote, the other Mrs. Small. And immediately Linda tells her not to call her that, to just call her Linda. That's when Linda informs them that Brendan is almost ready. Brendan finally walks up, and Jason very sarcastically tells Brendan, nice costume. I understand why you kept it a secret.
Clocked him.
But I love his costume. It looks so dope.
Yeah.
Especially for doing it so last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brendan pushes back and says that Mr. Lynch stole his idea. He was going to be a kitty cat, but now he's a fish.
I just noticed, now that the screen is up here, that Mr. Lynch's whiskers is like his regular mustache and then just a little mustache on top of his mustache.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That is so
skin. The OG one.
They could have been kitty cats together.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, go around.
So one cat house. Okay, follow around.
Well, immediately, Mr. Lynch, in his persona, says that Kitty loves fish.
Persona. I love you.
Is his persona Mr. Fish?
Mr. Fish.
Bring me a dream.
Bring me some fish.
Boom, 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 boom.
I want some fish. Give me that fish.
Give me that fillet fish. Give me that fish.
Yes. Blast from the past.
Well, they're about to leave, and that's when Linda goes into labor.
Finally,
That
that
sucks,
lazy
Queen. Lazy ass.
Go into labor yourself, you lazy ass. Well, we're back at Coach McGurk's apartment, and we see Stephanie sitting on the couch. Coach comes out in his costume, and I don't know if you guys clocked this, but Stephanie immediately starts biting her lip and says that he looks hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that.
That's when we reveal Coach's costume is him dressed as a woman with pink hair, purple lipstick, and earrings, and a pretty nice red dress.
I can fix her.
I can't remember my reaction, but I was just like, woo! Like I was like, damn,
He was
that's
like, hey.
that's my favorite McGurk.
Yeah, he cleans up.
Yeah, Stephanie says he looks nice, and even says, I put a pillow in my butt.
What's his drag name?
Oh, that's a thinker.
Yeah.
John McQuirk.
Coach Big Twerk.
I was going to say, you got to incorporate soccer in there somewhere, so
Yeah.
Coach Big Twerk is good.
With a pillow in my
Beautiful.
butt.
Yeah.
Him twerking in that that's like a gif.
Twerk, 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 twerk.
Jeez.
I love it. Stephanie mentions he's full-bodied. Coach points out his boobs are made from chunky soup cans.
Yeah.
He even says he's a big, beautiful woman. So Stephanie offers to put some eyeshadow on, and Coach requests a lot of it.
He's into this.
Yeah, he is.
So while she's applying the eyeshadow, Coach comments that her hand smells nice. And Stephanie returns the compliment, saying, so does yours.
McGurk says that it's Japanese soap that he's using.
Oh, he said he uses Japanese hand soap. It's like
Yeah.
Japanese coconut hand
Yeah,
soap.
coconut hand soap from Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
He low-key
Yeah.
classy.
Yeah. And she even says very pungent, and he's like, you're pungent too.
Yeah, like everywhere. Everything.
Well, I love this. She compliments his pantyhose,
Oh,
and Coach says, thanks. They were my mom's.
Damn.
yeah.
And that's what triggers them to start making out.
Damn, they're just a bunch of freaks in this episode.
Yeah.
A lot of sexual deviance in the writing booth this
Right.
episode.
You know what?
No hate.
Yeah, no shame.
You know what McGurk is?
Mm.
He's a pretty lady.
A
Yeah,
pretty
he
lady.
is. A pretty lady.
So
I know I'm sexy.
here's a question they posed in commentary.
Mm.
Do you think that Stephanie was attracted to Coach because he was a man in drag, or do you think Stephanie was attracted to Coach because she low-key just likes women?
Could be both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be both.
Why not both?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you see Dr. Frankenfurter in any outfit in Rocky Horror, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
We don't kink shame on this podcast.
That's right.
We just point them out. We just point them out and say, hey, he's into that.
Yeah, we see Mr. Lynch. You see that collar? We see that cat? We see the lick.
Yep.
I see you.
His face there specifically is pretty funny. Talking
Yeah.
about kinks in a cat costume.
Right? His
the
persona.
Arrow, the arrow eyes.
Yeah, his persona says meow.
Meow.
All
I'll
right.
have the drugs
Swipe
that
or
make
no
you say
swiping?
meow.
Well, while they're making out, Coach says he can take the wig off, and Stephanie immediately says no.
That's what I was gonna say too. Was she's like, maybe she's not specifically shallow about looks, but she likes him, but not the way he looks. So just like, no, please keep the wig on, please.
Well, Coach asks if he should take the dress off, and Stephanie says, God, no. At one point, Stephanie suggests they go to the bedroom, and Coach comments, we're in it.
That's so real.
He said he's got a Murphy bed, and Stephanie's response, well, let's unfold this baby.
She's ready. She's supportive.
Yeah.
Well, McGurk unfolds the bed and immediately says they need to wait because his arm fell asleep.
That was scary.
Real.
Well, I also was like relating to that because like when you are cuddling with somebody and they're like resting on your arm, you got to be low key that it's not just dead. Yeah, I'm just not dead. Just let me give it back real quick, just for like 5 minutes, please.
Shake it out.
Yeah.
Back in the episode where McGurk had like a tickle in his ear and he kept like making that sound, I thought that was him having a heart attack.
Right.
God.
But no.
Yeah, you would just randomly go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like an inner ear itch. A silly thing, I don't know if you guys notice about McGurk, before this point where he's starting to have his heart attack, he's got a little bit of a nip slip on one side pretty much the entire time.
Cool guy.
Cool guy.
Yep, that's how you know he's half cool. He's got half a nip hanging out. Well, Coach sits up. Now he's saying that his chest feels kind of tight. Well, that's when he starts yelling and pounding on his chest. And he falls to the ground and tells Stephanie to call an ambulance.
Does
Like
she?
right now?
Yeah, I was like, does she say right now?
Like right now?
Nah, later.
That's
Where
what
do
men. That's what men do when they get a heart attack. Stop.
Get-
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. And they said in commentary, they're like, you know H. Don Benjamin's in the sound booth just banging his chest. So,
Come on.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Not today.
Is it? Is it? Well, Stephanie calls 911 and asks what the address is, and Coach says he doesn't know.
Which, like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. That's character.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, we know.
Yeah. Well, she says she can go outside and check the number, or he says there's mail on the table.
What was the two streets?
Yeah.
He's on the corner of.
He's
some-
on the
Lonely.
corner of Lonely and Brew, baby.
Dang.
Lonely Ave. Yeah, I saw that.
Mm.
Yeah. They do mention it's like Lonely Avenue, but we did see it's on the corner of Lonely and Brew. So,
I was gonna say that. I was gonna do it, but I was like, oh no, that's Boulevard Broken Dreams. Because I was literally thinking the same shit. That's awesome.
well, the next scene, we're outside of the Sparky Memorial Hospital. And we see McGurk in bed explaining to the doctor he feels fine now. So go ahead and sign him out. Even mentions that him and Stephanie were about to go to a party, wink, wink.
So you got to say those things out
I'm
loud.
gonna
Yeah.
need to log off real quick.
Stephanie agrees and says they were, wink, wink. And that's when we see the doctor in Groucho Marx glasses saying he doesn't want to hold up any winking. And even says, nice earrings, by the way, wink, wink. And then when he says that, both Stephanie and Coach say thanks.
Yeah.
That was funny.
They both have great earrings.
It's
do.
true.
The voice actor for the Doctor, I recognize that voice actor because that was my childhood voice actor who in so many different things.
Holy shit, you clocked it that much,
Oh,
huh?
no, I clocked it when he was on the phone because he was the 911 operator. That's Tom Kenny. That's SpongeBob.
okay, yeah.
That's Ice King.
my
That's
God.
Teen Titans. That's
100%.
Powerpuff Girls.
Fucking clocked it
It
immediately,
was a
dude.
familiar voice, but
I'd like to make my third formal apology.
I ain't apologizing for shit.
No, Tom
God damn it.
Tom Kenny is a legend in the voice acting
Absolutely.
business.
I didn't even recognize his voice at all.
That's
That's
why-
crazy.
Yeah, and this is like 2002. I mean,
Yeah.
SpongeBob is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the first time we've heard his voice in home movies in the season 3 finale. So I was just like blown out of the water because I thought we already had our cast members at this point.
Damn.
Yeah.
Great catch.
Yeah.
100% Tom Kenny. Yeah.
And that's Tim's creative corner.
Oh, shit, dude. If Marcin just did it. Damn.
I totally forgot about Tim's creative corner, Loki.
I've been
Good.
waiting
I
for
didn't.
it.
I'm like,
Good.
you
Well,
ain't letting that slide.
Good. Once
All
we
will
get to
be
a point,
revealed.
everyone forgets about it. Bam.
After the podcast.
All
Yeah.
will be revealed.
We're done recording.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe for that one.
I call everyone in a Discord call tomorrow. Oh, yeah, by the way, it was this video game called...
It was enshrouded.
All right, yeah, Marcin clocked it immediately. That was Tom Kenny who did SpongeBob and so many other characters. So the doctor explains to McGurk he isn't going anywhere till they get the x-rays and blood work back because he had a heart attack. He even comments, a little young for a heart attack, aren't we, Mr. McGurk? And Coach agrees.
He's 36. We have like
I was gonna ask how old Coach is.
so the way that we did it was we saw that he had a class of 83 thing in his
Yeah.
car, so and then we timed it out to where so he's like 36, 37 if this
Right.
is
Right.
2003.
Assuming that he didn't get held back at all.
Yeah, that's also true.
Correct, yeah.
But so he is pretty young. He's in his 30s having
Yeah.
a heart attack, and that's scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes, do you ever get that pain in your chest sometimes, and you're like,
I
"That's
said,
it.
"Oh, this is it.
Take me.
It's
this is it."
happening."
It's happening. Just instantly.
Audience at home, he just went into the coffin pose.
Yeah, I just coffin poses for the audio.
Put him in a coffin.
Or a cradle.
Well, yeah,
Nice.
nice. Well, Coach agrees, and the doctor asks him what his diet is. And Coach says he doesn't diet.
Oh, that's good.
And then without even being asked, he's like, I also drink a lot.
That was good.
Just a flashback to his coffee table, which is just a piece of plywood over Black Hole Brew.
Yeah, and the poster of Black Hole Brewery on the wall too. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
He loves it.
Hey.
Well, the doctor says that might do it. And that's when Stephanie pipes up and says, I did this. I love it. The doctor asks if she cares to make a statement.
Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome.
And Stephanie goes on to say that this has happened before. Coach asks with who, and Stephanie says it was an old college professor, and he died.
McGurk's, he's so offended by this.
That's what I thought about, like, the thing on the floor that he was in. I'm like, oh, was she actually trying something? I thought they were going to, like,
Dang.
expand on it more, but I was like, I just kind of was like, not throwaway, but just, like, in that moment. I was like, oh, did she, like, try to, like, conjure something through him?
That's what I
Damn.
thought, though, the whole time. When
She's
she's
like, and he died. I'm like,
I just think of that meme that goes around all the time where it's just like the goth girl I'm letting do whatever she wants to me because I want her to like me.
Tim sent me that meme before.
What? I was probably like, oh, I'm just out of this for no particular reason. Stephanie says she needs to step outside and have a cigarette, and immediately Coach suggests she go have sex with someone and give them a heart attack again.
I volunteer.
Damn, petty.
volunteers tribute.
Well, we have a very quick scene with Linda being wheeled in with Paula standing next to her, repeatedly saying, you're going to be okay. Linda even asked her to stop saying that, and she's not okay. She's having a baby, which,
Felt.
hard agree.
Yeah.
When she was being rolled in there, you can see the baby kicking, and
Yeah.
that's
That was a cool
scary.
detail. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen videos of that on like
Yeah,
online of
it
the
was like that
the
movie
tummy
Alien.
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
Hell
don't
no.
want to have kids.
That's fair and valid. Same.
We see the Groucho Marx doctor go into the room with Linda and Brendan. He tells her that he has good news and bad news. But this was all just a bit. There's no bad news. That's the good news. Brendan and the doctor go on to explain the joke again, that the good news is there is no bad news, and the bad news is actually good news. And Linda says, oh, that's a joke. And they both excitedly are like, yes, it is. And Linda says, I don't find that funny because I'm having a baby.
Honestly, I wrote down here, Linda is so justified.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to pull pranks on a pregnant lady?
Or you're going to be
In
you're going
labor.
to start filming me?
Yeah.
No.
I know my rights.
I know my rights is probably one of my favorite lines in that. I know my rights.
Well, she starts having contractions, and the doctor says he thinks the baby is coming. And that's when Brendan pulls out his camera and says, bring it on. We're locked and loaded. Immediately, the doctor says, no recording. Cut.
Yeah, cut was what got me.
Yeah. Says no videotaping, but Brendan explains, I'm not technically videotaping. I'm making a film.
The difference in film and videotape.
And there's a part for a doctor in it. He goes on to explain that the movie is about someone having a baby, but the real focus is on the doctor.
That's so good.
So we do have this funny bit, and I learned that this was Steve Rogan's bit. So we have a funny bit where the doctor takes off his Groucho Marx glasses and essentially has the exact same like glasses and a mustache, and yeah,
Same nose.
it's such a good bit. He could have been Groucho Marx without
Yeah.
the fake nose and glasses, right? So he looks at the script and says that this is childish gibberish.
Yeah, I wrote childless gibberish.
Yeah, that's my rap name.
No, wait. The second guy I got made YouTube for Brock Baker and Super Ed 86 back in 2007. Super Ed 86 had a rap named as MC Gibberish. And it was like,
That sounds like
So good.
a
it's
John.
like Simlish rap almost, but
That's funny. That sounds like a
I'll
John
send you guys that
LaJoie
later.
bit. He
yes,
had
but
a,
with literally no words. and Just,
yeah, he had a bit about a bunch of rappers with ridiculous names.
I remember his stuff too.
That's so funny.
Shout out Super Ed 86.
So he looks at the script. He says it's childish gibberish. Brendan says it's a little rough, but the doctor reiterates, no, I like childish gibberish. And so does America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
You just hold up a bunch of keys to Americans and they go, ooh.
Shiny.
So he says, so does America. It's really good. Then immediately we hear Linda scream, and the doctor says, well, back to the baby. And that's when Brendan asks the doctor, what is your favorite part? And in my notes I wrote, very Marcin coded.
Yeah.
Several people looked at me when that was said. You know what? I don't feel bad.
Also, I was thinking when he tells him to stop recording and says cut, could that also be a baby joke to cut the umbilical cord?
Was it out yet?
Because he just, just, all right, stop filming, cut.
Oh, I'm trying. And just grab it.
He's asking,
The feral fucking noise, dude. You
yikes.
with the
That
popsicle.
visual.
You should have been for the UPN 5. That's what Josie sounded like.
He was asking if they wanted to circumcise the baby.
It's a girl.
Don't do that.
No, don't do it. It's unnecessary.
I love this part because Brendan so half-heartedly tells her, hey, Linda, remember, just like in class, just relax. Just relax. There. I'll pat you on the head now.
The head pat.
And that's when Linda absolutely loses it. I like this line because the doctor does explain it's very normal behavior, that cross-gender hatred. And Linda tells him to shut the fuck up, you little movie-making piece of shit.
Yeah.
I quoted that and I said, Nate on the last day of filming season of The Curse.
No, I was thinking that was something people had said to you before. I was thinking what you were going to say. Not me.
He didn't actually say that, but I just thought that was funny. That line fucking killed me.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that as my ringtone.
Yeah.
And just the Brendan's reaction to it, he's like, "What? You to me?"
I
Yeah, real.
I feel like they both kind of knew and understood and respected what their relationship was. They jab at each other, they give each other hits, but she like crossed a line.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what the
She brought his movies into the mix.
Oh yeah, and that's a raw nerve for
Yeah.
him. But that's also when I just like underline justified.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. She yells at him again to shut up, and that's when Brendan yells back for her to shut up.
Is this? Go ahead.
I just want to say, I want to let you guys know that during this whole thing, I thought that he was the father, so it made it even crazier for me. Deadass, I'm like, he's the father. And
Dude,
they're going
poor
at it
Nate
right
is
now.
like, what even
Yeah,
is this show? You guys are so chill about this 8-year-old.
No, that's chill, but I was just like, that's how they wrote it.
Is this gonna be?
I didn't know it was a joke or not because they doubled down on it so hard.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they
that dry humor and that dry sarcasm
Yeah.
doesn't really translate.
did. Yeah.
Correct.
Is this our clip, by the way?
Interesting you say that, Marcin.
Oh shit.
Because not only will this be our clip, but this is also going to be
Our mags.
my creative corner.
Ooh.
Oh, y'all forgot.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Tim edits out that a couple minutes ago when we asked him about his creative corner.
I'll just bleep it. I won't even edit it out. It'll just be like a 45-second, like, beep.
Oh man, they were popping off.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, this is going to be a part of our clip. And it's just going to be like after Brendan and Linda really start yelling at each other.
Good.
Doctor, I'm sorry you had to see me this way. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. What? You heard me. No, I was outside. What?
Speaking of doors, we are opening real wide here. You're doing well, Linda.
Hi, I'm a friend of Linda's.
Hi.
I'm Paula. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Paula.
Oh, this is my son, Brett.
Brendan's pacing
I
back and
guess he
forth.
had to
He's
go
so
get a
angry.
snack. What's?
You heard me. I'm sorry.
That's my son, Brett.
Knock.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
nice kid.
All right. That's where I'm going to stop the clip. And that's where we are going to pick up my creative corner. So, gang, my creative corner is, as you are listening to this episode as it drops next week, we will be releasing an interview I did with Steve Rogan. Very good interview. Steve worked on this episode, worked on many episodes. So during the interview, we actually talked about this episode, particularly this scene. A little behind the scenes. I do usually share the episode with Marcin and Adele beforehand, but we talked about this episode and this scene, so I'm like, I'll just wait until we get past this, right? So, very fun interview. It'll be coming out next week on the feed. We talked about this scene because during the interview, Steve had made a comment that he's like, you know, Tim, if I dig around some hard drives, I bet I can find that scene uncensored.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh, what a scoop.
So I was like, Steve, if you find that, my goodness, you have to post it. Okay. So we did the interview, and like 2 days later, I was on the Whole Movies subreddit, and someone made a post, and they were like, holy shit, guys. Someone just yesterday posted this scene from Coffins and Cradles uncensored. And I clicked on it, and the underneath it was like, holy shit, it was actually animator Steve Rogan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Immediately, I downloaded this video and I sent it to my brother, and I was like, I think I just unearthed some uncensored Home Movies footage.
Damn.
That's insane.
Tim taking a hammer to the to the ground like in John Wick as he's unearthing this whole movie's meme.
So, gang, I would like to share something with you.
Doctor, I'm sorry you had to see me this way. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. What? You heard me. No, I was outside. What?
Speaking of doors, we are opening real wide here. You're doing well, Linda.
Hi, I'm a friend of Linda's.
Hi.
I'm Paula. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Paula.
Oh, this is my son, Brett. Oh, I guess he had to go get a snack. What's?
You heard me. I'm sorry.
That's my son, Brett.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Nice kid.
Well, I guess you two.
screaming in the booth.
Holy
I'm
shit.
screaming in the. That's so good.
I accidentally unearthed some unedited home movies.
That's crazy.
Lost media.
Fucking legend over here.
Yes,
Let's
guys,
go.
stop it.
Thank you, Steve.
Expert.
Yeah, 100%. That's all, Steve. That
Yeah.
I just happened to ask him about it, I guess. But yeah, so that's my creative corner. That is on Steve's YouTube. He posted it as a short, and we talk about that in the interview that will be dropping next week. So
Butterfly effect.
that is my creative corner. Is please check out that interview.
Absolutely. I always love the interviews because honestly, Nate, if I know you haven't listened to the podcast, but you should probably listen to the interviews because they're really insightful and
Yeah.
like Tim does a great job
Yeah,
just
he
talking to these
does.
animators.
Stop.
Yeah. I also I wrote down the knock knock joke. They said knock knock, fuck you who, and they didn't answer it, which bothered me. So I assumed it would be fuck you too. Like that's like
he
Right.
did yell it like fuck you too.
So
no, you just said nice kid, and the joke stopped.
right. So he says, "Nice kid." They close the door. We see from the outside it's Mr. Lynch, Jason, and Melissa in the waiting room. Now, a quick little catch, and I think I'm going to play the audio for this again, but I'm just going to rewind it a little bit because if you listen very closely, you can still hear Brendan and Linda in the background screaming the knock knock joke.
Yeah.
Linda's fuck is not censored, but Brendan's is.
That's funny.
It's very faint in the background, so just listen very carefully because now once the door shuts and he says good kid, when Lynch is telling Melissa and Jason, you better stay out here with me, you'll hear them do the knock knock joke again. Brendan is censored, Linda is not. So here we go.
Well, I guess you two should stay with Kitty.
Yeah, that first one from her is not.
If I take that into audition, I could probably like clean it up and try to get one of their voices off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is on the wiki that there is an uncensored fuck in this episode. It is just very hard to catch. Had I not read that and was kind of hyper focused on this scene because I did have the unedited cut of it, I never would have picked up on that. But yeah, wild.
That is wild. That's really cool.
That is so crazy. I love the little nuggets we get from talking to the animators.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I also just point? I just wanted to put out again for Brendan's costume. That costume is really good because, like, for the eyeballs of the fish, they have tennis balls with
Yes.
a little Sharpie on it.
Yeah.
He's got the goggles and he's got the little flippers on his arms for the whatever they fucking
Fins, yeah.
Fins.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a great last minute costume.
Absolutely.
So much better. That's why I did it as my doodle.
The
It was-
doodle
yeah.
is so good.
Yeah.
That's-
Wearing and isn't he wearing like pool goggles for like his little fish eyes?
Yeah, he is.
Good stuff. Oh, I mean, he makes these movies and he makes costumes for the movies.
Yeah.
He should be very good at this. So, well, Jason, Melissa, and Lynch are in the waiting room. Lynch says, "You guys should stay out here with me." Even offers them each some candy. Melissa happily takes some, but then he turns the bucket and offers it to Jason. Jason says no thank you, and Melissa explains to Lynch that Jason quit candy. Lynch says, "Yeah, right. Who quits candy? I know you kids," and holds up the candy bucket again to Jason's face. So the candy bucket is like a jack-o'-lantern, and the bucket even winks at him and kind of turns into like an evil face.
Halloween.
That was
Town.
really cool. Yeah.
Jason and Melissa are both telling Lynch he doesn't want any candy, but finally, Jason breaks and jumps at the candy and takes the entire bucket. I didn't catch this until we were watching, like all of us together before we started recording. The second he jumps for that bucket, Melissa immediately starts crying.
Yeah.
There are tears streaming down her face.
She knows what's gonna happen.
She is like literally pouring tears. You know what? Let's play this clip too.
Yeah.
Say trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Okay, there you go. Jason, trick or treat.
No, thank you.
Trick meow or meow treat meow.
Mr. Lynch, Jason quit candy. He doesn't want any.
Yeah, right. Who quits candy? I know you kids. Jason, trick or meow treat.
No, thank you.
Meow or meow treat.
Jason, be strong.
Candy.
Jason,
Mr.
be
Lynch,
strong.
stop.
Trick or meow. Meow or treat.
No,
Trick or
don't.
treat.
Now
Don't,
watch
Mr.
Melissa.
Lynch.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
I can't take a trick or meow treat.
No,
Jason,
resist the
no.
sour gummy
Don't
burger.
watch this, Melissa. I can't watch it.
What was it?
And his teeth are candy corn.
No. I'm changing.
I'm changing, all right. I hope you're satisfied.
Melissa is devastated. She's crying. He tells you, he's like, Melissa, don't watch this. And she's like, I can't watch.
Melissa, don't watch this. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
She watched her man break.
And then Nate clocked it too. He's got chocolate around his mouth and then candy corn for teeth.
Yeah.
He just hit him with the I'm going through changes.
Hell yeah. Well, the next scene, we see Brendan walking down the hall of the hospital. He's still fuming over his argument with Linda. And so, of course, one of the rooms he happens to walk by is Coach McGurk's. Coach yells for Brendan's attention, and Brendan is about to ask what he's doing there, but instead asks him if he's wearing lipstick. Coach says yes, it's a costume. Brendan asks what he's doing there, and Coach says he's dying. He had a heart attack. Coach says he never thought it would end like this. And Brendan asks, how did you think it would end?
I forgot his line. That's so good. I remember it.
So Coach tells him, well, I always thought it'd be a bullet to the back. Or a knife to the back. Or maybe hit by a train. And Brendan even says, in the back?
Yeah.
And Coach admits, yeah, a lot of this stuff is happening while my back is turned.
He doesn't want to see it coming.
Yeah. That's fair.
So Coach asks Brendan what he's doing there, and Brendan explains his father's wife is having a baby. Coach says it's ironic. Life explodes into this world in all of its beautiful fury, while death awaits at my doorstep. We see a shadow walk into frame, and Coach says, oh my God, it's death, and holds up Brendan as a protective shield. That's when we reveal that it's Melissa in her costume. Coach even points out Melissa should not be walking around the hospital dressed as death.
So fair.
I love this. Melissa asks Coach what he's doing there and why he's dressed as a whoopin'. And Coach simply says because it's freeing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. True. Melissa explains to Brendan that Jason is missing and he started eating candy again. Coach has Brendan record his testimony that he's going to start living a better life, but almost immediately Brendan did not hit the record button, but instead hits pause.
I noticed the pause on the screen.
Yeah. Coach admits that he's going to be a better person, help kids more, learn to play soccer, saying, there, I admit it. I've never played soccer.
Damn, the lore.
That drop.
Being that far in the seasons,
Yeah.
I've never played soccer.
It reminded me of when Jason admitted that he never told his parents about Brendan and Melissa.
Right.
It's like that same vibe of like you don't know how to play soccer.
You're the coach. Don't use these. And he's throwing his hands
Right.
up. I'm Coach McGurk.
I'll kill you.
Well,
I'm the soccer comic.
do you guys remember at one point he's like, yellow card. And then he's like, Brendan, what's a yellow card? And Brendan's like, it's a literal yellow card. And Coach is like, that's stupid.
Especially, it's his whole identity as being a soccer coach.
Right.
And he doesn't know how to play soccer.
Wait, did he have the whistle on with the drag?
No.
Did he?
I thought he did.
He did.
Oh, I
He
thought
didn't
did.
have a whistle?
Wow,
When she showed
and
up,
that's
he
why he had a heart attack.
Oh my God,
was
that's his
filtered-
talisman. It's his Horcrux.
It was filtering the iron from passing through.
Yes.
I also
Tony Stark.
I also quoted him as saying in this thing, a prescription for a better life, which sounds like a really good song on my album, Dead and Gaping.
Yes. Anytime I hear anyone say anything about a better life, I'm just, better life.
There's a Jamie Madrox line that, is there a script you can write to prescribe me a little bit of hope? That's what that made me think of. You said something about a song. I'm like, oh shit, you thought the same way with that
Whip.
line. You're like,
Whip.
another twisted reference.
Whippin' podcast.
We have a very quick scene of Lynch walking around the hospital as a kitty looking for Jason and Melissa, even meowing and twitching his tail. These were the
on all fours,
Yes.
mind you.
these were the super sneaky notes that I wrote down because I didn't catch. There were body lockers in the
Yeah.
background,
Yeah.
and one of the toe tags said Wong for animator Damon Wong, and the other one said, I think, Naomi, and I'm not sure who that's
Just
in
gasping.
reference to.
That's she's a wrestler now.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we see Melissa open a door to find Jason drinking glucose.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Glucose.
Glucose? He tells Melissa, go away.
And this is where I wrote, beat his ass, Melissa.
Fuck him up.
And then she does.
It's dodgeball. You're
No.
supposed to fuck him up.
She tells him she will not go away and even starts hugging him. In this room, we do see a coffin
Yeah.
stashed to the side. And then I don't know if you noticed, but there is definitely a heart on a shelf.
No, I didn't see that.
And then we see like a wheelchair, some crutches, like normal stuff. So Jason screams that he needs more candy and tells Melissa to let go of him. But Melissa says she will never let go.
Oh.
Until she lets go and lets him drown in the ocean and freeze to death.
That's the Titanic.
Yeah, it's another movie.
And the door that they used was the doorman door.
Well, Jason calls her a crappy bitch,
That's fucked up.
Right?
God
Right?
damn,
and she
Jason.
proceeds to slap the shit out of him, telling him to snap out of it. She slaps him several more times to the point where Jason's bags like disappear from under his eyes and he wipes the candy from around his mouth. And he's speaking normal. But even though he's gotten better, Melissa continues to slap him. Jason saying multiple times he's calm, but Melissa claims he looked like he was about to act up again.
Yeah, you look like you're about to act up again. No, I'm calm.
She hits him many more times while yelling at him to calm down, and even ends with Jason yelling at Melissa, "Stop slapping me, I'm calm."
Yeah.
And then Melissa slapping him, saying, "Everything's gonna be okay."
As you're being beaten.
I love when when he complains and she's like, "No talking back."
Yeah.
As she rolls up her sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
If this is the way the relationship is going to work,
Well, we'll see.
it's still doomed to fail. But
We have the penultimate scene. It's Kitty Lynch continuing his search for Jason and Melissa. He stops at a door and asks if anyone has seen death. And a salesman.
it was a good one.
We hear a voice respond, "Sure, Arthur Miller. It's a classic." I think that was Tom Kenny as well. Mr. Lynch moves on and finds an unlocked door with a candy wrapper on the meow.
Him and meow to stuff was great.
Yes.
You do that all the time when we're talking.
I do.
Well, he goes through the door, but unfortunately falls down a flight of stairs. So now we have the final scene. It's Linda holding her new baby, surrounded by Coach McGurk, Brendan, Jason, Melissa, Paula, and Josie, as well as Stephanie.
It's a cute baby.
It is a cute baby.
Yeah.
Looks like Brendan,
Cute little baby.
which is unfortunate when Nate was watching it.
Right.
Because the baby looks like Brendan.
Right. And
He's like-
says, "Hello, Brendan Jr."
Oh,
BJ.
So, classic season finale. They mentioned in commentary, like most season finales up until the very last, they weren't 100% sure they were going to get renewed for another season after this. But they said after season 3, they were a little more confident because they're like, come on, we kind of crushed it in season 3, guys. They were fairly confident they'd get a new season, and they did. But in season finale fashion, everybody gets to the same place for some reason, and that place is a hospital. And now we're at this ultimate scene where we're all in, Linda's hospital room after she gave birth.
That pause. We're all in Linda's hospital room. Speaking of doors, we're wide open here.
That's such a good line. Brendan's telling Jason he heard about the candy relapse and asked if he was going to be okay. Melissa said she had to smack him a few times, and Brendan asked how it was. And Jason admits.
I loved it.
Yeah. And Melissa confesses. So did I.
dang. See, this episode is full of freaks. It's
Yeah,
the freak
right?
episode.
Oh my. It just
Freaks and geeks.
reminds me of when they're like, "Why do you stay naked?" I love it.
Love it.
Love it.
I just love it.
When will you wear wigs?
So this next line is where it kind of shifted my perspective on Stephanie going door to door to recruit people for this new religion, because she says to Paula, "Hey, Paula, I started my own religion."
Oh, so she's
Yeah.
the leader.
Yeah. All.
I am just not very bright this
Yeah.
episode.
She said that,
I'm so
you want to
sorry.
join? Nah.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
Nah.
That's
Just
crazy.
Yeah. She's like, "Nope."
Yeah, no.
But I didn't catch that until I was doing the breakdown. I was like, wait, did she say started her own religion?
Crazy.
Stephanie's a cult leader.
She is. You
Oh
know
my-
what? Props, I guess.
First one down, McGurk.
Right. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
The hardest pillar to topple.
No, not at all. He'll fold like a lawn chair so quick.
After that, we see Brendan approach Coach McGurk, who's in a wheelchair, and ask him how it's going. Coach says, "What do you mean how it's going? I just had a heart attack." So Brendan says, "Besides that, how's it going?" And Coach says, "Fine." He even hands Brendan $5 and asks him to go get a corned beef sandwich. I'm starving. Well, then we see a significantly more calm Linda holding her new baby, thanking everyone for helping out. Even telling Brendan she's so happy that he videotaped the whole thing.
I caught that, yeah.
That you video filmed the whole thing.
Video film.
As soon as she says that, Brendan shrinks down heavily, implying that he absolutely did not videotape the whole thing.
They were fucking going at it like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Of course he didn't.
No. Plus, the doctor straight up said you can't film.
Yeah,
Right.
and then he couldn't memorize his lines in time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
So Brendan asks Linda what she's going to name the baby, and Stephanie suggests Jesus.
Yeah.
Why didn't they bleep that Jesus out, huh?
It wasn't angry.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it
all in the
wasn't
tone?
derogative. I
It's
think
the
so.
tone.
I mean, honestly, genuinely, yeah, I think so. I think if someone was just like, "Oh yeah, Jesus," that's fine. But if they're like, "Jesus, dude, what are you doing?"
Fuck.
I guess the whole taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the line that got me. How about Jesus?
Yeah.
So does she believe in Jesus in her cult?
I mean, maybe she believes in Jesus' teachings because we all know
Yeah.
that's separate from what actual.
Right.
Preach
Plus,
it.
yeah.
Preach.
Isn't Jesus more of a title than a name? It doesn't mean like the anointed one.
I think the Christ part was
Oh,
more of the
yeah.
title.
Yeah.
His actual real name was Yeshua, which would have
Yep.
been translated to Josh.
Yep.
You know what Josh is?
J Dog.
backwards?
What?
Saj.
God.
Saj, our Lord and Savior Saj.
Our Lord and Savior, J Dog.
God.
Josh.
Yeah. Well, Brendan makes a comment that's kind of... And that's when we see Lynch roll in with a couple casts on a wheelchair and a cone around his neck saying, "How about Mr. Meow? Meow."
I didn't even register the fucking cone around his
I know,
neck.
right?
That's so funny.
This way it'll stop him from licking people.
Or himself.
Melissa asked Mr. Lynch what happened, and he said he fell down a fucking flight of fucking stairs because he was looking for your ass. Meow.
Yeah. Looking for your ass.
His eyes are crossed.
Found his ass.
That's the first time we've heard Lynch swear. I think in Mexico he just got belligerently drunk. So
Fell down the stairs.
Buddy! Oh, I miss drunk Lynch.
yeah, and now he's just fucked up Lynch
Yeah.
after getting all those painkillers.
Well, Dr. Groucho comes in and says, "That's just the drugs talking." And Coach McGurk asks if he can have some of those drugs, the drugs that make you say meow. We hear the doctor asks, "Who wants drugs?" Well, we roll the credits. Well, the credits roll, we do hear Brendan ask Paula if they can get out of there so they can go trick-or-treating. Paula says it's too late for that. And finally, we hear the doctor ask if anyone wants some of Linda's placenta because he was just going to throw it out. And not only is that the end of Season 3, Episode 13, but ladies and gents, that is the end of Season 3.
Damn. Season
We
3,
did it.
for me personally, went by so much faster than Season 2 or Season 1.
Oh yeah, it just flew by.
Yeah.
For me, it was faster too, but I think some of that was faster in the regard of, it felt like it went a lot faster, but for me personally, editing and breakdowns seem to go a lot faster because, one, I'm probably just getting better at it. I've been doing it long enough, but the pacing of these episodes, I think I probably mentioned how great the pacing is in almost every episode in Season 3. Because it really is.
Yeah.
The pacing is amazing. McGurk has a heart attack. Next scene, we're in the hospital. You know what I mean? Stephanie's ringing the doorbell. The next scene, we're on the couch. Everything is just flowing so well, and their abilities in season finales to just get everyone in that one spot. It's so beautifully done. Animators, writers, everybody. I can't give enough kudos for season 3. And I always said season 3 is my favorite. It's so good. But as I'm thinking about the episodes that are coming up for season 4, they're so fucking good too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, very excited. But this episode in general, just what a great season finale.
Oh, yeah.
This
So
was a
good.
really solid episode.
And the animators killed it too, because everyone had costume changes. Stephanie was different. Linda was different.
Absolutely.
The baby, yeah.
The baby.
Everybody was different.
Damn, they knocked it out.
They really did.
100%. So typically what we do now is we will have Marcin give his grade for Jason this episode.
So Jason, from the get-go, I have never been a fan of Jason because he was actually, the way I was introduced to the series was seeing him like talk about how he would stick his finger up his ass to make sure when he was constipated. So I never really liked him.
Jason had a very gross phase at the beginning of the show, but has definitely grown as a person and character. I almost said human. But
Yeah, I mean, well,
cartoon human.
he is. He's also just been a brat so many different times where he
True.
just like someone needs to raise this child genuinely. And I feel like that's what Melissa's job has turned into. I don't think it should be her responsibility, but as we see in this episode, she kind of had to take that role.
She sure did. And
But-
the episode started with him saying, "Melissa, you're not my mom."
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
They were
like
cooking.
She's taken on the role. I mean, yeah, I think she understands the role, but she also seems to be willing to take it on.
Yeah.
she does seem to want to take that role, so I can't put too much of that on Jason, especially because he's like, leave me alone,
Yeah.
don't go away. Like, he doesn't want it as well, but then he just kind of accepts it.
And, she didn't have to go chasing after him after he relapsed.
Absolutely not.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Well, as a matter of fact, at the party, what does she do? She tries to send him away.
Yeah.
She tries to throw him in the cab and send him back.
Yeah.
So,
And then he shows back up. Greetings! But I didn't want to judge him too harshly because he was trying his best to stay away from candy, to stay away from his addiction. He said, how many times did Lynch know?
Cat.
The peer,
That cat!
the peer pressure from Lynch was
Yeah.
unmatched. I just feel like that was so out of character for Lynch.
absolutely, yeah.
Well, he's like, candy's not going to hurt this kid. It's Halloween. What do
Yeah.
you think we're doing here? Come on.
The fursona took over.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone got into costume. Like it was like the Halloween Town 2 fever, baby. Everyone's in the costume. They change to the character they're wearing. But so Jason, I didn't want to judge him too harshly, but I also wanted to recognize that he didn't do too well. So just because he started changing and started freaking out, and then Melissa brought him back down like he was Black Widow and the Hulk and whatever movie that was. So I B plus. I gave him a B and then plus because he was trying and he did the best he could and he accepted the help from Melissa even though he didn't want it. And then Melissa beat his ass, so I love that.
Love that too.
Absolutely. I think that's a fair grade.
Yeah.
He's fighting demons. We all are.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I know that when I talked to David Sanangelo, he said he heavily related to Jason because he was a bit of a candy addict too growing up, so he gets it.
Still am.
Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff. All right, so now is when we go around and do letter grades for this episode. Keeping in mind, I have given your typical A through F grades. I have given episodes an S tier before. I have given episodes S plus or S minus before. So keep that in the back of your head. So as far as episode grades, who would like to go first?
I'll
Or
go first.
Shall I?
Tim's
I don't.
staring into my soul.
Sorry, I don't want to look at anyone else's soul.
Oh,
I can go. I can go first if you like.
that's fine.
What does Adele's soul look like?
I think it looks beautiful.
Thanks.
It's a little daffodil.
a little pretty daffodil.
How do you feel about that reference, Nate? Knowing that you don't understand it.
You and me.
I would like to go first, actually.
Okay, yeah, please.
This was a very, very good episode. I am a lover of Halloween. I love spooky, scary. I love Melissa's choice in Halloween costume. I mean, everybody's character just fucking killed in this episode. To know that SpongeBob was on it was pretty cool. The thing that's keeping me from giving it an S tier, however, is fucking Linda, dude, and her weird comments. I'm sorry. So it's just going to be an A+, which is still a phenomenal grade, mind you. So that's what's, yep.
Adele's hands were up like a crab.
I was like, don't attack me.
No, I think that's very fair, and I get it.
I
Linda
agree.
is Linda is Linda.
Sorry. It's
Yeah.
just
It made me
pedophilia
think
doesn't do it for me, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
Call me crazy, call me quirky.
Well, Corky, I would agree. Sorry. I thought that he was the father the whole episode. So I was like, it wasn't like that horrible of a joke. I'm just like, I thought it was serious more than a joke. So, no, I think that's a fair grade.
Yeah. Do you want to give your grade next, or was that kind of...
That was basically my grade. I didn't know if they were doing the minus or the plus, but I would definitely give it an A for sure. I really like Halloween, which is, I think, why you had me on this episode. Like, there's a Halloween episode if you want to be on that. I'm like, yep, just give me what I need to look up before, if anything. But yeah, no, I liked all the Halloween costumes and the little changes of detail and just like the freak out in the hospital is just so, fuck.
Yeah.
Just him going back to her, because just saying that to her, she hurt his feelings even though she's pregnant is so crazy.
Yeah.
God. And the police bit, like Memory 5. There was a lot of stuff in the few episodes I saw where not necessarily just Brennan, but a lot of the way they make people do shit is how I just am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So just a straight A then.
Yeah, just because I don't know any better to say, but yeah, definitely a really good episode. I liked it.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Very fair. Marcin, would you like to go next?
Yes, I would absolutely love to go next. So just to piggyback off of what everyone says, there's a thing that Adele has for her to have an S tier. It has to have Dwayne. Melissa has to be a badass. For me, I still haven't given an episode an S tier at all because I want to wait till we do the S tier table and try to... I don't want the recency bias to hit me because there's several times where I wanted to just throw an S tier out there. But, like, I love this episode.
Yeah.
And I love Stephanie and Linda. Like, I know they're problematic characters, but, like, the chaos of it. And then Stephanie coming back and she's just like, I am myself now. And she's just like, I love Stephanie. I love Linda and Brendan going back. And if this was the dynamic we had from the beginning, from the get-go, of them just, like, fucking not taking it from each other and just throwing it at each other, that would have been so much more fun to watch with Linda on screen. And I love Linda. I don't know what it is. She's not a good character. It's a McGurk thing for me. Like, she's a great, like, character to watch and enjoy, and the character arc she's had, because she used to be an incredible, insufferable person. And something happened in that therapy episode where it just, like, skyrocketed, and just her sitting in the hospital bed and having her crash out at Brendan of just like, I'm fucking Brendan, and you're doing this fucking who's on first bit in front of me. I just loved it. This is the closest I've ever come to just saying fuck it and throwing an S out there. I still want to wait, but if I could put an A+ parentheses S, I would, because I really loved this episode.
I think you can.
Yeah. Well, if there's an S- and an S+, I think I can. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, parentheses S.
No rules.
No rules, baby. Because McGurk going drag, that was
hell yeah, dude.
That's so good. So good. So it had the only thing that if it did have this one detail, I would definitely be fuck it S, is if Lil Mama was there. Because I feel like Lil Mama is just such a great character to have. If it was Lil Mama, Linda, and Stephanie, S immediately.
Your favorite 3 chaotic blondes in one room.
Yeah. But where's the something Jimmy Monroe? That was his
Jimmy
name?
Monet.
Jimmy Monet.
Yes.
Yeah, bring him out here.
Marcin has a type.
Yeah.
Okay, Draco.
Okay, all right. I was a child.
So is Brendan.
That's true.
Okay. A+ in parentheses S. So now is my turn. God, I wish I was obsessed with Halloween now as I used to be.
I feel that.
When I used to work at a costume shop, I mean, Halloween was my life for sometimes the entire like year, and then especially like Halloween, there was like a whole build up, and it was a whole thing. I've always had a soft spot for Halloween episodes of TV shows I like.
Yeah.
Roseanne,
Yeah.
Home Improvement,
Oh.
The Simpsons. Halloween episodes they just hit different.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
Nickelodeon cartoons.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, SpongeBob had some
Yeah.
Halloween episodes that are just
bangers.
so fucking good.
Flying Dutchman.
So because Halloween has always meant so much to me, because home movies mean so much to me, this episode, it's just the season finales, dude, the way they get everyone together. And this episode was just joke after joke after joke, and again flowed so well. Such a good episode. I am going to give this one, no parentheses at all, a straight S tier
Nice.
episode. I do very, very much enjoy this episode, and I'm very happy that we were able to have you on this one, Nate. So
Thank you guys for having me. It was very fun.
thank you, seriously.
Great guest.
Yes,
Yay.
100%. So
I mean, we didn't even talk about it, but yeah, Halloween. Just like
Right.
Halloween is, for me, I love. It's my favorite holiday. It's
same.
the only one that has like a real magic to it, where you feel it when it's like the season's changing, and like the it has a look, the leaves coming down, and the magic
Yeah.
you feel. And when you're a kid,
Absolutely.
especially, and Cartoon Network's doing the Goosebumps fucking marathon,
Yeah,
and,
dude.
oh, dude, the Rugrats Halloween specials where you get the shit scared out of you. Oh, I love Halloween, and I love this episode genuinely.
The Halloween colors and any kind of spooky theme stuff. I'm always
Mm-hmm.
going to choose that. Just
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the green, the purple, and the orange. Just anything like that. Oh,
yeah,
Just so cool.
yep. Love fall. I love the color
Yep.
palette. It's all just.
That's
what
when
do
you guys
like?
are getting married.
Yeah,
100%.
And our
Spoiler.
colors, purple, green, and orange.
There you go. There you go. So,
You go.
very, very good episode. Again, Nate, thank you so much for doing this. Does anyone have anything they want to add about the episode before we GTF on out of here?
No,
No?
not for me.
Nothing I can think of. No.
Yeah.
Just so many great characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynch is in there, McGurk is in there. We saw Walter and Perry once, and they had
Yeah.
a banger line. So I'm not sorry that they weren't in the rest of it, but like still, it was a great episode. And
Yeah.
Fenton wasn't in it. Great, it's
Oh,
fucking amazing.
yeah.
Fenton
Where's
is bad.
Fenton?
You're right.
Yes. Yes.
There was no God, what's his name? He hasn't been on the show in a very long time. The guy who has every job ever.
Ken Adelberg. I miss
Where's
Ken.
Ken?
I miss Ken.
Where's Ken?
He
I'm
was
just Ken. I'm gonna do that edit.
he was in a costume. We just didn't see
Ah,
it.
yes.
That's
He
it.
was table number 3.
That's right. All right. So, well, this is normally the part where we would throw out anything we want to like plug or promote. But obviously, with you being the guest here, please, Nate, anything you want to plug or have people check out of yours, now is the time to put it out there.
What I learned in boating school today is, I don't know, just like I've been trying to get back into my other older show, Waxway, the vinyl record showcase, because I went through and sold a ton of them over like the pandemic just because, but I still have so many that I could film that are rare / cool colors, and I have a few 2018 through 2020, I think, videos of like maybe 5 to edit. So I'm getting into putting that out, and then with Punkin' Replay stuff, I've been looking to get more into older series that weren't finished and record IRL this year, or just making different stuff again. More, not that I wasn't doing it the way I wanted it, but just I was just auto firing everything with like no effort, but I'm using the physical buttons on the board and stuff and editing it while recording it kind of by doing pausing, and it's just been more fun doing stuff like that and just being more confident about who I am on camera or what I'm going to say versus like worrying. I'm obviously conscious of what people are going to hear. Like I'm not going to go wild saying shit, but just less of like, oh, what if I say that? Then they're going to think this. I'm like, oh, no, I know what I mean by it. I'm going to say this, and I look like this, or my room looks like this, and this. I like
Your room
these
looks
things.
great.
And
Your
I've just
room
been
looks epic.
just trying to build my space for me, and then if people like that too and think it's cool, I'm like, I'm not trying to gatekeep where I get anything or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm doing me. This is me.
Hell yeah.
Here's how you can do it too if you want to. If you want to copy what I'm doing, go ahead. At least you're having fun. Like if that brings you joy and that's it, that's great. Like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
We're gonna put all the links and everything in the the show notes of this episode, but could you just spell out Punkinnonstop and Punkin replays?
Yes. Punkin is PUNKIN and then nonstop is the full word nonstop. It's a double N. So PUNKINNONSTOP. And then Punkin Replays is Punkin REPLAYS.
Nice.
And I just want to put out there, no exaggeration, this guy has had thousands of videos on your YouTube channel. You do one of my favorite things I look forward to is every year you do the anniversary video, and it's always just you never know what you're gonna get because sometimes
I never know what I'm gonna get.
Yeah. So and I love the playlist of the anniversaries of going through and just watching them because they're so wild. They're one of my favorite things you do. You also do music on Spotify. I love listening to your volumes, and then my favorite songs of yours. I don't want to spoil, but there might be in Season of the Curse too.
I was gonna say the one is already out, so people could technically listen to that.
Oh yeah, if you want to. If you want to shout that out, I just didn't want to.
What's the name of that one?
I Will change.
My brain was thinking, don't change. Nope. I will change. Yeah, that was like my most played song on my Spotify Wrapped from the one day we filmed the music video, and I was not pissed, but I'm like, damn it.
I honestly wouldn't. I thought that was going to be the creative corner. You were going to bring us in with Hank Hill.
Tim was like, maybe Joe Swanson because it's pretty spot on. I'm like, oh, sure.
Yeah. But are you done plugging? I didn't want to.
I think so. I was just going to say, recently, randomly, the TikTok has been... The TikTok. I explained this earlier. That's like me saying I'm only posting certain videos to TikTok instead of like shorts and reels and stuff. So the is specific there. The random Michael Jackson filter video impression popping off has been so wild. I think it's currently at like 700,000 plays.
That's
like
crazy.
A couple thousand comments or something and likes. I'm just like, what the hell?
You never know what people are going to like.
Yeah.
You never know what's
No,
going to be
exactly.
the spark.
Mm-hmm.
So just throw it all out there and see what sticks.
Exactly. Yeah, Grim had told me that before. He's like, the song that you might be ready to just delete is just like, it might be somebody's favorite song or the one that gets to 1 million. So just, if you're happy with how it looks and sounds, put it out. Like,
Good
if you want
advice.
to wait a little while, or sure, but like, and then Terror Reed Getter had said, a lot of times I'll export something 30 times and upload the first fucking mix, and I'm like, yes! So, yeah, just, I don't know, have confidence in yourself, and if you don't like what you do, just take a step back and, I don't know, find something that really resonates with you and just do your own version of it if everything feels stale.
Fucking absolutely,
Yeah.
dude.
And musically, I'll shout out, you probably expected Billy Marciafava from Chicago. He does some funny meme stuff, but his serious music and just the dedication that he puts out into it has really helped me kind of feel that way with my own music, but with my own stuff recently, just in general and myself. And it's been great being confident and not constantly anxious about life again.
Oh,
So,
yes.
It comes and goes, but
That's
the world's on fire.
I feel that.
right.
Yeah.
And I'll try to make this as quick as possible for my plug because the second episode of Puzzle Valley 2000 just came out, and I'm very happy with it. I'm very excited for more to come out. We're working on that. There's so much work that goes into that. You guys have no idea. But that's not the plug for this one. The plug I actually want to do is for the first season because Nate is on it. He plays the character named Dean K, and he has done so many great bits on that season. I love that season. It is not as polished as the second season, I will admit that, but it's just you got to start somewhere. It's a process, and that's why I really resonate with home movies because it started with UPN 5. It looked ugly. I'm not going to dispute that it didn't look ugly. It found its way at some point, and that's how I felt with season 1. I put a lot of work into it. It got to a point where I was very proud of it, and there are so many moments in that season that I'm very proud of, and I love like listening back to sometimes because I'm just proud of it. Dean's choice is one of my favorite moments of the entire series, but there's so many, especially towards the end. There's so many great things. If you're the type of person who listens to an episode and the audio is kind of bad, you're like, I'll turn it off. Just listen to season 2, and if you get into it, then go back to season 1. But season 1, I very much love. So if you want to listen to season 1, please do, because me and Nate are on it, and my other 2 friends are also on that, and it's a great time.
Agreed.
I'll say you guys listened to it fully through.
Yes,
100%.
we did.
Yeah, I was addicted to it.
Yeah, Tim listened to it all the way through by himself, and then he's like, Adele, you need to listen to this. So then we listened to it. He listened to it again with me. And oh boy, was I fucking bawling my eyes out by the end of the fucking first season. It is so good. The heart and the emotion that is put into it is just unmatched. So please go listen to it.
Thank you, Adele.
Real.
Agreed. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for this episode. So I'm just going to end it by saying, knock, knock. Fuck you!
Who's there?
Fuck you, too.
Amen.
There That's going to do it for this episode of Rewatching Home Movies. Join us next week for a very special interview with Steve Rogan. If you liked what you heard, check out our Linktree at Linktree/RHMpod. There you can like, follow, and subscribe. Send us an email to request stickers or leave us a 5-star review. I will read 5-star reviews on the podcast. Thanks to Punkinnonstop, aka Nate, for being our guest. Thanks to Chris Bongat for the use of our theme song. And Jens for the refresh of our logo. On behalf of myself, Tim, and my co-host, Marcin, and Adele, thank you for rewatching home movies with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
And then afterwards, all right, same time next week, guys.